Sister Andrea Brunet is in a place to be. How you doing, Senate?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
So you have something to show us today?
Yes, I went on to the product line and I bought 3 shirts and I just wanted to show you all what I got.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, so this is the first one. This is the
Ah, the Onk shirt.
the Ankh shirt. I got it in black and gold, but I think I'm gonna go and get a blue one too.
All right.
Okay, so that's the first one.
All
And
right.
then
The Ma'at. Oh, it looks
this
good in
I don't
blue.
yeah,
All
I don't know.
right.
Yeah, this is the Ma'at one.
Oh, that's
I
what's
don't know if you
up.
can see.
Yeah, we see it. We
I'm
see
trying.
it.
Can you see it?
Nice bright
And
color,
yeah, I love this. I love this color. I love it. And then the piece de la resistance is my favorite
I'm the best of
one.
me tonight.
I'm the place to be tonight. Yeah.
That's what's up. Oh, the
There's
best
that
to
on
be
the sleeve
tonight.
too.
Even on the sleeve.
Tonight.
All right.
Even on the
Tonight.
sleeve. I had it. Yeah,
All
this
right.
is this is the lick right here. So I'll be wearing that on
Oh,
your next live. I will have this one on.
all right. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. All right.
So
Well,
that's the 3 ones I got.
thank you very
Love
much
them.
for your support. It's appreciated. I'm glad that you like the products.
You're welcome. You're
All
welcome.
right.
And we'll see you on the next live stream.
All right. See you soon, sister. Peace.
Okay.
Hotel.
Okay, I hope you can see this. Civilization started with agriculture. Custom made shirt from Ma'at Forever, Shaka Indugu. Civilization started with agriculture. This is Curse of Hammurabi, Shaka Indugu, who I support. Civilization started with agriculture.
All right. Hey, brother Donnie Williams. See, you got your
Yeah,
mail.
yeah. What's up, Shaka? I was gonna do just I know it's a serious topic, but I was gonna do a little
No, no, I appreciate that, bro. I'm
unboxing.
glad.
So
I'm glad. Yeah, yeah. Live
yeah.
unboxing. Bro, you don't mind if I use this excerpt, like as a clip in my
No,
intro?
no,
Oh,
it's all
thank you.
good.
Thank you. And
Yeah,
for those who wonder, I'm gonna share the link. All right, that's lovely.
yeah. I got the Heather Gray. Oh man, yeah,
Oh, you got the
I
Kemet
didn't.
shirt as well. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it had that on the back
In the
though.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's what's up,
That's
man.
lovely. Oh, thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
yeah. So just letting you know, just coming through, showing some support real quick, man. I'm about to get back into this Netflix film. So um, just wanted to say peace, man, and thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
Okay.
Hey, this is my unboxing video that I'm doing for the product I bought from my Out Forever's channel. I bought the coffee mug, and here it is. Sorry there's a glare from the screen, but lots of bold, crisp, beautiful colors, inside and out, high quality ceramic. I absolutely love it. So y'all go check out his website. It's got a lot of fun, fresh designs. And cheers to you, Shaka, and all of your endeavors. Peace.
Our sister RP is in the place to be. What's up, sister?
Et Sin E. How you doing?
Et Senate E. I'm doing nefer.
Oh, great, great. Um, well, I got it today. I was thinking it was coming from France, but then I did the tracking and it was outside actually when I went to check, and here it is.
Oh, that's what's up. It's just like my hat. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Let me do the solo layout. There it is, brothers and sisters. That's
yeah.
what's up.
I really like this. Yeah, so I have an after school program that I help facilitate. And I'm going to wear this because we're going to start talking about coding. So I'm going to
Okay.
use this as an introduction because this is a code. It's
Mm.
ancient code, but it's still a code. And then we're going to be able to, demonstrate. I'll be able to demonstrate to them the meanings inside each of the, glyphs and stuff. So, but yeah, I was looking online and I was like, this is actually like really good designs. So as soon as I get some more, extra money, I'm gonna get the matching hat, and I want to get a Ma'at shirt. But I really like the Kemet one.
Mic check, mic check. Hotep Sinohena Senut Tiren Ishakan Gukeme. The title of this video is Informants in the Conscious Community. Let me first read the disclaimer, the fair use disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under the section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. You have the link for whoever wants to get on the panel. For those who don't know, the chat is only open to supporters. It's $3 per month, which is $36 per year, but it's okay. You have the link to get directly on the panel. You have to use a webcam, however. Now let's listen to this.
Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, giving.
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight, since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand, when you say all them names, always put me on this side.
I'm about to share the full video. You have it in the chat. It's a lady called Tonya TKO. She's been online for a long time. She has 200,000 subscribers. Now, I don't know who that lady is, that demonic mommy who was blaming, quote unquote, baby Jezebel for Polite. There's so many people capping for Polite. Hold on one second. Okay, now, yesterday, Sister Nandy went live. The live is no longer available. It was made private, maybe deleted afterwards. But she did say Her brother Unc is an informant. And I think I've heard that before. She actually said that Wu Jiao is an informant. So, VB, how you doing? Is in the place to be. It seems like almost every day we're discovering new things, new claims. Now we are still waiting for Filthy Frankie Sarnetta to tell us about this molestation report. We're still expecting him to stop covering these child molesters.
After this whole polite case go on, and when this shit is over with, I want to see all you niggas. Listen to me good, y'all. Rob on, Garfield, all y'all know who I'm talking about. I want to see all you niggas, because I'm gonna be pulling up some reports of molestation in Harlem, in the Bronx, some fresh ones that just went on. I want to see y'all stand.
So, the excerpt that I first played, you can see that Unc had the list ready. I think it was a good brother Ching who put me up on game. But several brothers and sisters sent me some links and gave me the timestamp. So we went through a lot of things. We've seen that excerpt a few months back, but now that there's a sister who came out publicly and said that he's an informant, I'm thinking, interesting. The dude was live streaming. He was a guest on Tonya TKO. She's the one who was live streaming. And out of the blue,
hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, giving...
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight, since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there and understand.
He pulled out the list and he read from the list. There may be new forms of snitching. There may be new forms of telling. And we've seen Filthy Frankie Sarnetta going through the pictures on his Facebook account. And he told the public, so-and-so sold drugs. So-and-so shot the police. So-and-so was into this. So-and-so was into that. It looks like there's a new form now. It's some sort of paperwork-less snitching. Paperwork-less telling. What's that comment here? V. Bennett wrote, needless to say, a guy who does that, no one could trust again, LOL. Well, I will have a hard time trusting the dude because he did that for free. He did that for the love. He was not under duress. Now, Nepal said the book is coming. We heard that there's accusations against Nepal. I haven't heard her denying the accusation of her being inappropriate, being accused by the parents of a child of performing some act of pedophilia. Interesting. You've already heard Sarnetta talking about Robon and Garfield, saying that he will be putting up reports of molestation. I haven't heard any of those two denying the accusation. And also lately, we found out from an ISUPK member that their leader has allegedly molested a boy back in the day. We still haven't heard any denial. Some of you have noticed that Filthy Frankie came up with a new channel. Yesterday, Sister Nandy said that he conveniently did not tell the people that this new channel was created because his two channels, House of Consciousness and Scam Cheddar Studio, are under investigation. When Enki came on my panel, we briefly talked about the badge. It was said that one of the twins have seen the badge. And Frankie basically said that it belongs to his brother. The block is hot. The block is hot. And I've heard before. That's why I asked Enki. I heard before about this bad situation. What is a shame, however, is that there's so much stuff that these cats know, and they only say it when they have beef. They will remove the streams. Well, time to catch it. One hear something, another one, yeah, I heard it too, on the same occasion or a different occasion. Then they make up, they're cool again. Then they beef again. Then they are cool again. But the dynamics are different now because there is a criminal case. Who's involved, who's not, we will find out. But why would the sister come out and accuse these two people from the community of being informants? There's anything that you guys can't say, holla at me. You can just create a new email account and you can contact me. If you don't want me to talk about it publicly, then tell me, okay, I don't want you to talk about it publicly. It's as if there's some kind of hide and seek going on. And I can understand. A lot is at stake. V. Bennett wrote, they act like informants. Oh my goodness. They are publicly intimidating each other. Publicly blackmailing each other. Years back, it was, don't make me do it, baby York, Dr. York. And I heard once again that he was over there in MIA, yo. With old boy. And many of you heard him say that he just happened to stumble across the homie. And then we seen the video where he said he was in the club with homie. That homie actually took him to the club. Sometimes people are so much they cannot keep up on their lives, man. But let me just ask you for the record. Have you ever heard this allegation, this accusation of people being informants in the conscious community? One person that some of you may have heard about. What is the name of the agency again? Let me look for it. I forgot the exact term. CNN. You have it in the chat. People wrote, anytime some RBG is popping off, they are informants. Let's have a look at this. Let's hear from CNN.
So welcome to the war front. They said it's wartime, so welcome to the war front.
Ayo Kamathi, or as he calls himself, the irritated genie, is still at it, still on the internet condemning whites, gays, Jews, Asians, anyone who doesn't measure up to his black nationalist views.
That's how we gonna put a foot in this cracker's ass.
And he is still an employee of the Department of Homeland Security, 3 months after the agency publicly acknowledged his website calling for widespread racial violence. He declined our request.
Homeland Security.
For an interview, but on YouTube, even he seemed surprised he was not let go as soon as his employers found out.
I have to always remind myself, they know who you are, they know what you're doing. Don't forget that.
He's not the only one wondering how he's kept his $115,000 a year job. One wondering how he's kept his 115.
Now, I don't know if they made a mistake. But if I use my calculator, that person said, and we can see on the screen, $115,000 a year job. So I just divide that by 12. It's 12 months to a year. That gives me $9,600. Am I wrong with my math? Am I wrong? Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Don't forget that.
He's not the only one wondering how he's kept his $115,000 a year job.
$115,000 a year job. Let me know. I'm just waiting. Vas-y.
Je veux dire au texte dans le casque. Bonjour au texte.
Tu vas voir, c'est bon. Tu vas voir, c'est bon, tu vas voir. I'm waiting. I did 115,731 divided by 12. It gives me 9,644.25. $9,000 a month. I'm not in a rush. I'm waiting. VB with Pan-Africanism has informants. Also, anytime there are some scammers, cultish gatherings, LOL. At least you got a job, LOL. That job pays very well. Am I off with my math? Am I off with my arithmetic? That's great money. It's great money indeed. But I'm just waiting. I'm not in a rush. I want some interaction. What's up, you Bennett?
Yeah. What's up, Shaka? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother. I'm waiting for people to confirm if my arithmetic is off, man.
If your math, yeah. Well, I mean, I think who knows? Who knows for sure, right? But I'm not saying that that's what the case is, but I would say this. I mean, you got to think of it this way. The U.S. government's GDP is how much a year? It's got the biggest GDP of any nation in the world, and it's had that for a long time. It's over 25 trillion a year. And so the reality of it is that, if there's one government that you're probably going to have a hard time not falling into line with in some kind of way, it's going to be the U.S. government, man. It is. And I think that that's a conversation that a lot of these people need to have, like just a rational conversation, because that's failed people before. The idea that they're bucking the system, fighting the system. You can say it, but is it something that has proven you're capable of doing? And I think when they don't discuss it. When people don't discuss it, they, us, we, right? Don't discuss it, we kind of miss an opportunity, you know, a opportunity to come into reality about what's going on everywhere, everywhere, you know. So just imagine you're a minority in another country, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Or is it better now? Is it better now?
No, it's the same. There's a bit of background
It's
noise,
just
but we hear you clearly.
okay, okay. Yeah. You know, the idea is that you would have to escape the government, right? If you want to buck the system, you would have to evade the government if you want to buck the system, right? That's the idea. But you're dealing with the US government, and the US government has more money per person to throw at any job. You're going to do more running, you're going to be doing more acrobatics, more death defying feats than you would running from any other government on earth, dude. You see what I mean? So, rationally speaking, I think it's just stupid for people to think that, you know, some guys aren't going to bend somehow, some way. I don't think the question is, are people going to bend? I think just the question is how much, when, and why, you know? And I'm not suggesting that irritated genie bends, but look, I mean, any dude that works for the government, works for the US government, and I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, dude. It's a job. There's plenty of people who work for the US government, right? It's a job. It's a job Sonetta would take if he could get it. You know, it's a job most people would take. The only reason why they don't take it because they got a felony or some shit like that that prohibits them. Most of these jokers is like that, man. Now, you know, I think they would take the job. You know, I mean, well, hold on, my fault. Irritate as far as irritated genie is concerned, it's possible that you know they didn't correlate the two things. Like he have a job, and they had no idea of what his side job was. It's actually possible. And then again, it's also possible if they did know what it was, would they say anything? I mean, it's hard to know what there's intent there, bro. But nonetheless, you got to have a job.
Yeah, you gotta have a job. It's just a bit strange that someone will call for preparation for an upcoming war or race war, and then he's working for Homeland Security. That's quite unexpected.
Oh, it's hella odd. It's hella strange. You know, and it's also irrational. It's also irrational. You know.
I don't know if he still has.
I mean, do you think that's rational?
It doesn't add up. To me, it doesn't add up. Now, I'm trying to see if the website is still up. Oh, it's not. Oh. Let me see if it's up. It is still up. What does it say now? SA26 African Development in the 21st Century. It used to be called War on the Horizon. Through his education and media organization, War on the Horizon, Mr. Kimati has produced a catalog of lectures and details specific rises affecting the Black world community and provides tangible solutions addressing these problems. Okay, so we don't have the same talking points as before. We're preparing for the upcoming war, but he's doing his thing. Okay. That's just one example. Did you have chance, brother VB, to hear the beginning of Nandy's stream? Did you hear when she said that Ankh is an informant, and when she said that Ujau is an informant?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that, man. I heard it definitely.
All right. $9,000 a month. My goodness.
That's a very well-paying job, by the way. But it depends on when. Is it still that way, or is that just currently?
Well, it's at the time. Let me see the date. Well, that was 9 years ago. The excerpt that I played on CNN's YouTube channel, who have 14 million subscribers now. That was
Oh, well
9 years
then,
ago.
Shaka, that's more than well-paying then.
9,000 is it's off the chain.
Especially for DC. Especially for DC. Back then, 10 years ago. Today, that's okay. That's just okay. But 9 years ago, that's great. That's more than great, man. You know, a two bedroom apartment in DC is like $3,000 on average. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty expensive right now, but 10 years ago it was less expensive. And you know, I mean, yeah, man. You know, that's a little bit more than, well, I would just say that's decent.
Decent. Well, to me, 9,000 a month is just huge. Divinely Inspired has joined us, brother. I don't know if you caught the beginning, but yesterday Sister Nandy went live and she said that Ankh is an informant. When I say Ankh, I mean Bobby Banger. And she also said that Ujau is an informant. And I was playing that clip. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
That's just his daytime job, too. That's not, you know, that's not considering what he might get for his activism, if he gets anything for it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, because we can see on the website, there are books, there are products, you know what I'm saying? He does lecture. I don't know if he gets any honorarium for these lectures, but just for Divinely Inspired, let me just play this excerpt here.
Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, you know,
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight, since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand, when you say all them names, always put me on this side.
Okay. Just reply to a message. So that's what we have so far. Yesterday, Sister Nandy went live.
Yeah.
Yes, brother.
Shaka, what do you think that was about? What Unc was talking about? Take a guess. What do you think he means?
What we're seeing with Unc?
Yeah.
It's clear as water. It's like, you know, it's not me only. It's him, and him. And
right. But maybe he's just talking about, you know, people that used his eraser one day and didn't return it.
Or his bike.
Exactly.
Somebody
How do we know?
His bike, you know?
That would still be out of order. Even if it was that would also be out of order.
He's gonna say, it's not me, it's my pops are tripping. You know I'm not tripping. Now, for those who don't know, before they say, "Oh, he was talking about somebody's family member," that's Friday, the movie Friday by Ice Cube. All right. Okay.
I have no clue, man. That's such a. It's so pathetic, man. It's pathetic, man. I mean, I don't understand what the point would be. To be honest with you, I don't. I think it's just. Is it to impress Tasha K? Is it to? He thinks that somebody's listening, so he should just drop those names too, or what is it? What was that about? I mean,
To me, it looks like the new way of telling. And Sanada's been the number one guy at it. You know what I'm saying? Like for example,
How about the mighty fucking Hebrew? This nigga went to jail for rape, dog.
Oh, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga,
And that nigga back in the community, like everything good, Hebrew's quiet. What about Nazi Yashabel? Let's not forget the mighty Hebrew nigga, who you get constantly on your channel, who's on all the Hebrew's channel. Don't forget the mighty Hebrew, the bald head nigga, been already incarcerated in prison for molesting a young child. He came home and they violated him again because the nigga was trying to fuck with another child.
But there it was talking about something that was known. The law been known about that. They've been knowing about that because the dude went to jail, indeed. He went to prison for that. But when you talked about Garfield scamming so much 6 years ago that Frankie decided no longer to advertise Garfield on his panel with his so-called, what is it called again? Student loan cancellation. And all that other mess that he was involved in. When he's saying, Garfield, Rob on, I'm going to be putting up reports. I don't know if the law is aware of that. They're hiding so much, man. They're hiding so much. We may find out with that situation going on. Because Michael may have told. But it's a shame we have to wait for a criminal case to find out who is who.
I think you're right. I think we're bound to find out a lot of things from this case because there seems to be a lot of people interested and invested in like taking different sides unless there's things to come, unless Oh, I'm breaking up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we hear you. Go ahead, brother. But we couldn't hear what you said just before.
What about now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh, okay, because it sounds like you breaking up, but maybe it's my net. But what I was gonna say is, you seem to have a lot of people interested, like invested. Like you saw that one video today where the guy was giving his observations, although I didn't agree, but he had a lot of observations about a lot of different people, like trying to discredit them. And I just thought, like, why would someone spend so much time trying to discredit people if they weren't trying to protect something else that's not out there already? Or try to protect, yeah, exactly.
Which video, brother? Which video is that?
It's the one I got in my email, man.
Oh, okay. Divinely Inspired wrote, No Light said that he wasn't going down by himself. Yeah, he let it be known. A long time ago. Now, some of the name that Bobby Banger, aka Brother Onk, said, we have a video of Polite looking very close to that girl that Senator accused him of running off with. The mother didn't know where she was when she was underage. And they were real cozy, very comfortable. One of the twin brothers, at least, was there. Another grown males were in the same room, chilling on the phone. Nothing was strange, They may know more than we would expect. We'll find out. I mean, it's them telling on each other. It's not me. I haven't done any investigation. I did not tap any phones. Did not hack any computer. With us, VB. Oh, VB is bad.
Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, you know, giving.
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand when you say all them names, always put me on this side.
Now, when he says this side, I'm wondering which side is it? Like, is it them folks? You know, I don't know.
He sounds worried himself, man. He sounds worried himself, yo.
And you know what? We can have a closer look.
That's the equivalent of, why are you talking about me? How come you don't talk about them?
Now, hold on. What was the timestamp? Hold on. Gonna go to. If I go a bit before. I'll go a bit before he said what we've seen.
You know, like Dr. Oya Mayat. She has a lovely platform, and it's like this. It's very professional. So my point is that I was talking about the level of professionalism. We just comfortable with our thing. Person called in.
But I'm asking, why are you giving the apples back after Chiquita has given them to you?
Chiquita, I changed my mind. I'm gonna keep it.
Let's go back to the thing. Here we go. Let's continue. So you have this look on your face. So you're saying that the children are not grown. You've been around for many decades. Do you think that people were more grown back in the days or more grown now?
No, it's always based on the child making decisions. Like I know for me, I was 12. I started getting it at 12. And
you started getting what at 12?
By having sex with another 12-year-old. Yeah. So don't, yeah. I ain't gonna say I ain't like it either. I thought the only thing was I thought,
do that?
Yeah. I actually thought I had to go to the bathroom when I was about to climax. I didn't know about that.
A 12-year-old can't climax.
Yeah, I can. I was like, yo, let me get them go to the bathroom. It's the best part. I didn't know. But over time, she schooled me what it was, right?
The 12-year-old was schooling you?
Yeah, I think she might have gotten to some porn or something that her mother might have had. I think that's what it was, because he was definitely more advanced than me. Yes, she was my age. Interesting. So I was grown at 12.
You were grown at 12?
As far as no. But I swear, mentally, 13, 14, I was just hung out with the older people at 14, ran the whole hood at 15. So I don't know. I'm not a good example for all that.
So what you're saying is that so you're agreeing with the caller then. You're saying that this girl who was 14 could have been a queen pen. She could have been the one who tricked.
No. So no, see, when you're an adult, that's never proper. That's the point. I'm 12. She's 12.
You said you were running the hood, which means you were running other adults.
Yeah, all right. But shoot, what that got to do with it? Money talking, bull crap walk. But that ain't got nothing with the
so you're saying that there's you're saying that there's some 14-year-olds out there that can run adults.
But that's dysfunction. I just need everybody to know that that is dysfunctional for me at 12, 13, 14, living the life I live. Like that is the crucible of dysfunction. So that's not how that's supposed to work. And for her to actually put it that way is bananas. So
Hold on. You're agreeing with her though. You are saying when I was 14, I ran adults. I was a kingpin at 14.
Yeah, we talking about hustling. We ain't talking about sex and all that. She all off on the crazy end of it. In the middle of a conversation about one of the largest cases in the conscious community, she's mad. She's completely out of her mind. That has nothing to do with me being grown hustling. I was grown in hustling. Simple as that.
Listen, a 14-year-old is not grown. You said in the beginning of this broadcast, these are your words. You said the prefrontal cortex is not developed, that a 14-year-old is not grown. You said this.
Yeah, I said grown and hustling. And I don't know, well, maybe my mind was a little sharp at 14. I don't know. Maybe I'm the lucky one. I don't know. Maybe it was that. But of course, at 14, I wouldn't actually know. But I did hang with the older dudes and did everything they did.
When we're children, that's the oldest we've ever been. Of course, we think, listen, I thought I was grown at 16. I thought I was grown. I had my little Halle Berry haircut. I thought I was grown, right? But I can look back now and say I didn't know what I was talking about. You are 50 looking back when you were 14 saying that you possess the mind of an adult man.
But let's look at it the way she was looking at it though. Let's keep it right there. She was putting responsibility. That's why she said that. When she made the statement that they're grown now, she was trying to put the burden of responsibility. Because when I got locked up at 12, because I got locked up at 12, selling weed, right? My mother had to come get me. So obviously I wasn't as grown as I thought I was because I couldn't get myself out of that situation. 12, 13, I couldn't. So what she was talking about was responsibility. So at 12, I didn't have responsibility over my life. 14, no, I didn't. All the way to 18. So no, I wasn't grown in responsibility. I was grown in the game. That's different.
Oh, okay. So you were grown in the game. So there's different type of grown. So but you see, and I see people are saying that we're off track, but we're not off track. We're right on track. Because we have a man on our broadcast who is positing that he was grown at 14. While discussing a phone call where a woman is saying that the girl may have been grown and aware at 14. So which one is it? Is a 14-year-old grown and aware, or is it just you? You're just grown and aware. Well, then maybe that girl is just grown and aware. Maybe she'll come back at 50 and be like, yeah, I knew what I was doing. I battered my own mouth. I was just aggressive with it.
Yeah, that's stupid. I wouldn't say that. I was just grown and having an amount of pounds. Yeah, and actually getting locked up and going to jail and having your mother to get you clearly proved that. So she's absolutely wrong. So that lady that's not the truth. That young lady is not grown in her decision making. And I told you that behavior was dysfunctional for me as a man growing up in Baltimore, Maryland. So I clearly identified that what that lady was talking about, that she's grown as far as her sexual organs and making the right decisions. No, that's a bunch of malarkey right there. But I was grown enough to buy some pounds, so that was grown for me and for what I was doing. But the decision making was very, very faulty, and I can admit that. So I'm not making that shift from a person hustling, right, and a person being in a room with an older man that's 14 or 13 or 12. No, that's bananas and bonkers. I don't even know how she brought that up. Yeah, that's just crazy.
Listen, I hear you, because in the same conversation, and people are saying I'm all over the.
Actually, I realize I'm at the wrong timestamp. So I'm going to move forward.
c'est toi que je te vois faire de papillon.
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out.
She's on air right now. Oh, it's not true.
That's not true.
Right.
Yeah, now, Charlatan sells DVDs, Charlatan sells views. He has allowed the community to speak. And that is there's no vetting, there's no vetting process. That's out of control, but that's what he does. And for that, I'm not gonna call him a con man. I ain't never known him to steal nothing from nobody.
I don't know.
Just saying.
I don't know. All I know is that there's a blog that said that she was going live and releasing receipts of illicit behavior. And you were also rolling with Michael Nowak too, weren't you?
What you mean rolling with Michael Nowak? I'm not rolling with anybody at all. What I say I do, I teach scientifically. I'm not rolling with anybody. This is funny. They act like it's a rock band. Like we all go out together. That's crazy. So the link might be
y'all don't be on 125th Street. Y'all wasn't on 125th Street. Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, you know, giving.
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight. Since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand when you say all them names, always put me on this side. Put me right there on this side. And I told all y'all, I told every single one of you, I say, hey, scientific literacy is a vaccine to get the charlatans to come amongst you. Dr. Sadie, he's a quack. Watch how the chat room light up. He's a charlatan. All of them. I've been saying this from day one. So when you see me on 125th, I'm there. I'm on this side. I wasn't there for the last y'all really be done. So let the record speak for itself. When you see me, you see a guy that's been anti all of that. So we can play the jokes and they can crack the jokes and how they play it, but run that tape. How about that?
What tape are you talking about?
Run that.
Femi, how you doing, brother? Feel free to unmute yourself, brother. There was some echo, so I did mute you, but feel free to unmute yourself, brother Afimi. You're on mute, brother Afimi.
Yeah, because I'm not hearing it in here. I have to actually go to the YouTube to hear.
Oh, okay.
What the video was.
Oh, feel free, brother. What's on your mind, brother?
In here, I have to.
What's on your mind, brother Afimi? Can you hear me?
I'm not hearing it.
Okay. Let me type it.
Yeah, but he's definitely a dumbass. I mean, I don't know who he's trying to fool. I mean, it's almost like he has a job to do, no matter how dumb he sounds. He's going to say it because it's just a job and he got to say it. It's almost like he doesn't believe even what he's saying, but he has to say it for some reason.
You got to do it. Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, it's like a job. It's like a job, man. It's like he's protecting something because normally nobody goes out there to that extent to make a fool out of themselves for nothing. You know, I mean, that's hard to get, man. Nobody wants to come off looking like a fool, but yet he's coming out there to say these foolish things, to make this. You see how long he did it for, too? That was like an hour. An hour of having a woman look at you like, come on now. You think I'm dumb? And he's just going at it steady, just no matter what. Until when she's like, well, then you agree with her. And he's like, no. No, I don't, because, you know, he just rambled on, and it's like you have to understand there's a purpose in that. he's definitely doing that for some reason. And the reason is behind the curtain. It's behind the curtain. Whatever the reason is, I mean, you know, he's willing to make a damn fool out of himself for some reason, man. And I just hope that it's I gotta tell you though, my suspicion is that it comes down to selfishness. I don't think there's anything good behind that curtain, you know. Myself, I don't detect it. You know, I detect selfishness, looking out for yourself. I don't detect anything bigger than that, man, to be honest. But that's just my opinion.
All right, behind the curtain. How you doing, Afimi? What's on your mind, brother?
I just came to hang out with some good company. I just started watching, so I'm just gonna keep on watching.
Yeah, I don't know if you missed the beginning, but Sister Nandy went live yesterday. She said that Ark is an informant. She said that Ujao is an informant. So I'm wondering, like, you know, what's going on? Like, who else? Like, you know, but her video is private now.
Informants to the police.
She said informant. She didn't take it any further. She said informant.
Okay. Mm.
But we're gonna find out. I mean, we finding more. It's not a week that goes by without us finding so many things. You know, usually every couple of days we find out something new.
I think it's sex trafficking, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's sex trafficking. You know, I'll just say it. You know, because just, you know, I mean, you know, scamming. Yes, there's some scamming there too. Probably, definitely scamming. We know that there was nobody was hiding the scamming. The scamming has just been out on the front street, on the table. You know what I mean? You know, anybody that sells a product that the goddamn government says it's a scam on their website, and you selling it on YouTube, I mean, it's obvious it's the scamming, but the question is, what else is there? You know, and to me, I just think it's sex trafficking, man. I think these guys groom young girls, go after their mothers, groom them, and I think that's what I think they're scared of it all, man. They're scared of it all, brother. I think it's just a guess. Now, it's just my opinion. I think as dumb as Unc is behaving on an hour-long tape, he's got to be involved somehow. That's what I think. I mean, I wouldn't go on. I mean, come on. What is this? He's trying to defend the indefensible. You know, he's trying to defend people that can't even defend themselves. That it's just so obvious. Who does that? And yet he's out there trying to make it seem like you don't understand. Like it's something different. It's not what it looks like. You know, it only makes it look like, damn, dude, are you involved in this or what?
So I caught just very briefly some stuff that he was saying. So that stuff he was talking about when he was saying that when he was 12 years old, he was grown and whatnot or whatever. He was saying that because he was trying to make an example of some 12-year-old girl that got molested.
Honestly, I don't feel that way. I was looking for the timestamp just before, and I went way before the part that I was trying to play. And it's actually the first time I heard him talking about when he was 12 was getting it on. The most striking to me, once again, for those who just arrived right now, is that excerpt.
Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, you know,
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand when you say all them names, always put me on this side.
So he had a list ready. And he's just going through the names on the list. We don't know if he went through all the names on the list. Now, earlier, he goes, people think it's a rock band. He's trying to disassociate himself from the people he's been down with. When he mentioned Sabi And personally, when he was still alive, I had my reserves about him claiming to be able to cure all disease, including AIDS/HIV. Now, he said all of them. He said save you first, but then he says all of them. But we have David who wrote what that triggered him. I'm sorry, why that triggered him. Nikki Williams.
That triggered him. That triggered him, bro. That's correct. He looked angry. Look at his face. Hear how his tone changed. He got real serious right at that moment. You know, like, okay, damn. Is it serious? Because he made it sound like a joke before.
And Herbie turned channel off road. It seems like sex trafficking and child trafficking and wire fraud. She added, I think a lot of people are involved.
I agree. I think so too.
What are you saying triggered him?
Well, when she was asking questions about, let me hold on. Let me do this. If I go a bit before.
There's no vetting process. That's
called Sonetta.
Kind of talked about how women support these men. Well, they only support
same charlatans
men. I want your audience to hear that there's something called scientific literacy that will protect the Black women from the charlatans. Okay, they get them. Y'all think y'all talked about it on the last broadcast. Y'all kind of talked about how women support these men. Well, they only
the same
support
charlatans
men.
that you roll with, those charlatans, you're coming on my platform
to tell
women that they can be protected from the same charlatans you roll with.
No, Shawnette is not a charlatan. He's a charlatan promoter. And everybody know I've told him that to his face.
I'm sorry. Right now, as we speak, there is a big blog open right now. Right now, as we speak, that is broadcasting live and showing receipts of this man, the same person that you call Sonetta, as a con man. She's on air right now. Oh, it's not true.
That's not true.
Right.
Yeah, no. Sonetta sells DVDs. Sonetta sells views. He has allowed the community to speak. And that is there's no vetting. Hold on. There's no vetting process.
Now, for the record, he says Sonetta sells DVDs. Sonetta sells views.
Sells DVDs. Sonetta sells views.
I don't know how he sells the views, but let's continue.
He has allowed the community to speak. And that is there's no vetting. Hold on. There's no vetting process. That's out of control, but that's what he does. And for that, I'm not going to call him a con man. I ain't never known him to steal nothing from nobody.
I don't know.
Just saying.
I don't know. All I know is that there's a blog that said that she was going live and releasing receipts of illicit behavior. And you were also rolling with Michael Nowak too, weren't you?
What you mean rolling with Michael Nowak? I'm not rolling with anybody at all. What I say I do, I teach scientifically. I'm not rolling with anybody. This is funny. They act like it's a rock band. Like we all go out together. That's crazy. So the link might be
y'all don't be on 125th Street. Y'all wasn't on 125th Street. Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, giving.
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand when you say all them names, always put me on this side.
And he read the list quickly.
I see what you mean by triggered now. He don't even see her face. How it's clear that she's like, man, you want some BS right now. It's clear. He don't even see how he look.
He's been saying Polite, my boy. And you see, the thing is, whatever Polite did is not his responsibility, but dang, can't you denounce Polite? Has anybody heard Bobby Banger denounce polite? I've never heard Sanetta denounce polite. I've never heard Bobby Banger denounce polite. I wonder why.
I mean, don't jump off the polite wagon now. If you were still down with him after he said that his God is a child molester and he don't care if he raped 1,000 children and whatnot, he's still gonna be his God. If you were still down with him after he said that, don't jump off the wagon now. Stay down. Be real about it.
You may say, "Oh, I didn't know about that," because when it's convenient, they don't know. He wasn't Nubian, but the thing is that a lot of those guys they present themselves as former Nubians, but we'll have to wonder were they really former Nubians, or did they repackage themselves? So, what do you think, brothers and sisters? Feel free to continue to participate in the chat. If you want to get on the panel, you have the link right there. Have you ever heard? Some of you heard Sister Nandy's live stream yesterday when she said that Unc is an informant.
Hey, as policy, y'all need to start. I'll do it too. Start downloading some of these videos that people are putting out nowadays, trying to expose what's going on over there. Download them.
Yeah,
You're
true.
right. You're right.
True, man. I missed one the other day. I just didn't have time. I didn't have my laptop with me, and I couldn't do it from my phone. So, and the video's gone already. It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's gone already. But maybe you should come back with something even more elaborate. But we have David. How you doing, brother David?
Peace.
Peace, brother. What's on your mind, brother?
Not too much, my brother. I seen y'all streaming, so I popped on in.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, yesterday Sister Nandy went live. She said that Unc is an informant. She said that Ujawa is an informant as well.
It don't surprise me.
Have you heard something to that effect before?
Never. Nah, I don't be watching these guys like that. Well, actually, they just came up on my radar, and I mean, shit, I'm down for the cause, my brother. Anybody that want to stand against people who are abusing the community, abusing children, especially children, hey, I'm down for it.
And yesterday your comments really surprised me because you first wrote that the Cash App that they shared when they were presenting Morpheus as the father of the victim, you said that it is another secret Cash App, and you added that you've seen them use that Cash App in the past.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I have seen that before. Hey man, my memory suits me, and I utilize it, and I don't forget things. And that's something that I noticed was just like Matrix music. What the hell? How y'all about to have a Cash App campaign drive for somebody that you're not even like you like it's a weird space for him to try to, quote unquote, support the family under that guise. You know what I mean? Like you dated the woman one time at some point in her life. That's not your kid, dude.
Nope.
You got the real father up here saying, man, I got a hole in my heart. You ain't nowhere to be found at the press conference since you claiming that's your woman now. Like, I don't understand it. What man, like I've never seen anything like that.
I never seen anything like that before as well. To present a dude as a father, to say that he's going to have to look after the grandchildren. And then we have a press conference and we see the real father.
With the real father saying, man, where's my grandbabies? I'm sorry this happened to their mama.
And they act like nothing happened. And Butler Reggie was in here scam-splaining.
Yeah, Butler Reggie tried to scam-splain, and he called the real father the biological father instead of just calling him the father. He had to try to make his scam go on to make it seem like Morpheus is a father of any type to that woman, that young lady. He described the father as the biological father. But you don't have to be in somebody's life to be a biological father. All you have to do is be a sperm donor, and that's what Reggie described him as. Have you noticed how much they've never talked about the father? They're not even on his side. They don't even feel for the father. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's sad.
It's a part of their playbook. Part of the playbook. That's all it is just manipulation. They want to play with people's quote unquote hearts, or at least their emotions, their goodwill. You know, I guess it seems there's too many women in those chats. There's just really too many people in those chats. Period. But you know, that's where he's playing off on his audience. It's all manipulation.
Yeah, using the
Let's highlight the
emotional.
mother. Let's not necessarily pay attention to the father, but because the mother and Morpheus and see we three-way called her and had her talk, and you could hear it when she's talking. It sounds like she's like, "Yo, why y'all bothering me? I'm trying to grieve." It doesn't sound like you talking to your boyfriend, your husband, your fiance. It sounds like you talking to some old nigga you knew way back in the day, just trying to give you condolences.
It's real sad.
It is. And then they just try to backtrack it and say, oh, yeah, see, because we did this for you and you. Like, come on, dog. I'm not trying to do not shit for an old flame. I ain't trying to do nothing. I ain't even looking up for you, to be honest. And if that would have happened or something like that, I would be like, man, that's a shame that happened to that person. But come on, I'm not going to go as far as to impersonate you and have a Cash App, GoFundMe campaign, make video after video. And then all of a sudden, like, how you answer that? You know what we need to do? We need to have the real father give a fucking interview.
Well, he has. It was not really an interview, you know, but
but I mean, like, just see how he feel about Morpheus out here trying to claim his fate.
I get you. Yeah, I get you. Well, I don't have his contact, but you know, eventually that may happen. You know, that may happen, or maybe the law is going to deal with it because what they have done is more than fishy.
Yeah, that is very fraudulent. It's a financial crime, and that's not something that they take lightly.
Yes.
It's online wire fraud. This is involved multiple people across multiple states. Like, this is nasty should they so pursue it. And I wish they would.
And we may find out. Because that's another situation added to their long list of foul activity. And Nepal Shada, has anybody heard her denying being inappropriate with a child? Because she was publicly accused of that.
Oh yeah. I came across that a couple months ago. You know, I've been still trying to catch wind of who really said it, or at least put it in motion. But you know, too many people are saying the same thing, and like, it's all we need is a real name.
Anastasia
real name.
Garcia.
But I don't think that's the real name though.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sister Nandi said that name in one of her latest live stream, you know, and that name was brought up before as well in the chat when we were asking and inquiring. I think we would need her location. Some people say she's from Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if she still lives there, but if we have a date of birth, that might help, because I'm sure there's many people who are called Anastasia, and Garcia seem to be a very common. Yeah,
Arizona. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just one of those things you can't hide forever, especially since September's coming up, and we're gonna see if he's gonna sing or is he gonna just go down quiet.
Oh, I think he's gonna sing.
Yeah, every lawyer that I've asked about certain things regarding this case has told me that this just seems like someone who knows that, you know, they know that they got you. He's just trying everything that he can legally, that he's afforded to, just to keep himself out of jail. They didn't indict him, so there's no reason for him to, or at least there's no reason for them to force him to be in jail. I wish they would. Like, you can't have DNA samples and be like, maybe we can just run through a trial. But, you know, I'm not in that capacity, so that's for them. But yeah, man, just wait till September comes around. Let's see what happens. I'm just interested to see what kind of witnesses come up. I'm interested to see how far this spans, because I'm quite sure that, like you brothers were saying, the one thing that I noticed, it seems like you know, they're going after the mothers. These are single mothers with daughters, and for whatever reason, these women are, you know, maybe they're not recognizing that these things are happening, but it's occurred too much to not notice that pattern.
It is a pattern indeed.
Even as a viewer, like I said, I don't be checking for these dudes, and like once you start to see it, it's like, oh yeah, there's a clear pattern. Look at this. This is what they're doing. They're preying on these women. They've got fractured relationships. They're just spitting this. The black woman is God, like heavenly divine mother energy bullshit, and then they want you to just like, you know, how he has his little word salads, just try to be finesse with the sauce, so to say. But
And we learned about an ICPK member who said that his own leader, General Yohana, Commanding General Yohana, leader of ICPK, molested a boy back in the day. I have not
and
heard
paid
any
him off.
denial.
He says, so what? That happened back in the day. Like, that's old news. Like, we should not overlook that.
Yeah,
we should just overlook it and just act like it never happened. Like, oh, they all gross and nasty.
That's amazing.
Like the whole camp, the words he used suggest the whole camp there's multiple. It's not just their commander or whatever the hell he want to call himself. Like you can't be 60 years old dressing in costumes like that.
So lately 4 people, Garfield and Rabon, accused by Senator and Judas Nasty of being child molesters. None of them have made any denial or rebuttal. You know, then we have Napa, and then we have the ICPK leader. 4 people in the last few days.
Them plus the countless deviant guests that have appeared over the years.
Oh yeah.
Like it's clearly some type of organization. I don't know why they don't get hit with a RICO, man.
Well, maybe that's on the way.
Like this, like as we talk about it, like this seems like if I was a prosecutor, I might get a big promotion if I take this one down.
Maybe that's in the works. And maybe Polite's going to be a modern day Sammy the Bull.
You know, something I noticed a long time ago is that a consistent feature of many of the most popular people online is that they clearly have mental disorders. Whole lot of these people that are just super popular online, they clearly have mental disorders. And the popularity is only feeding it. I said something a long time ago. Nobody really wanted to touch it, and I understand why. But I'm going to say it again just to put it out there. I don't know what is at the root of why people molest children, but I just feel like the culture that we have of children engaging in sex is probably not helping it. Because I just feel like a natural part of just being a human being is you have memories, of course. Like we all have memories of every chapter of our lives, including when we're children. And some of those memories are sexual. And I'm just thinking it can't be a good thing. I don't know, because I never had sex as a child. I've never had sex as a child. I never had sex with a child. So I have no memories in my head of having sex with a child. So I don't know how it works for people out there if adults actually have those memories and recall those memories and get turned on by those memories. I don't know. It's a weird kind of gray area or something. I don't know. But there's probably adults out there that have memories of having sex with children when they were children and are getting turned on by it. And I just feel like maybe that doesn't help. I don't know.
It's deep. Come on, good people in the chat. Just participate. Because if it gets slow, I'll put an end to it, Because let me just show you something here. Let me just show you something. There's that Princella lady. For whatever reason, 50 Frankie wants to interview her. He wanted to interview Polite. He wanted to interview Nature Boy. And now I haven't heard it from herself, but I was told that she's talking about men can't love and all sorts of strange
Life.
things. So you go to about now her website. Okay, it's not showing here. If I go to her Instagram, you have her website. And that's her website right there. And when you go to services, virtual consultation, 1 hour, $299. $300 for an hour consultation. Appreciate the free game and the free information you get, brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. $300 for an hour consultation.
And who is this?
It's that lady Princella. Allegedly, she's saying that men cannot love, and she's just advising. I mean,
it's on y'all if y'all fall for that. Dishing out $300 to some regular ass person on the internet.
I say once again, don't give your money to people who don't use their real names. Don't take relationship advice from women who are not married.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. But she doesn't want to debate.
Description, she described herself as Nubian. This girl, because like I said, I'm familiar with her for years before she started doing the YouTube thing and whatnot. And she had already, like, I'd seen her over the years saying a lot of negative things about Black folks. And
Black folks or Black men?
Both. Later on, because she was married for a little while, maybe a year or two or something, and then got divorced. And after the divorce is when she started really going in on just Black men. But before, it was just Black people in general. She always showed that she had an affinity more so for Asian and white men.
And like Cynthia G.
Yeah, I don't really follow. I don't know that much about that one. I know of her, but I saw all the negative stuff about Black folks, and I was just like confused because she does have intellect, but I was confused. And then one day I saw where she came out and was like, she's actually Native American, and I was like, oh, okay. Because these type of people that think this way, that are Native American, so on and so forth, they'll talk all day about Black folks like that because they're specifying Black, they're specifying African, and so on and so forth. They'll never look at these same folks that they proclaim to be Native American and say negative things, and while calling them Native American, because they don't want to dirty up the name Native American and whatnot. They want the dirtiness to be associated with Black, with African, and so on and so forth. So it's just interesting that I'm seeing on that description that she's describing herself as Nubian. So that's how she has to introduce herself to folks first. And then later on, sometime, I don't know, maybe years down the line, she'll finally come out and talk about how she's really Native American.
Yeah. Well, see. And maybe she give more insight about her lifestyle, because people can have any lifestyle they want, you know what I'm saying? They don't need to bash Black men just because of their lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So we'll find out.
I mean, if you talk about her being gay or something, that part I don't know, but she's always said that she was a tomboy.
That's how it starts usually. We'll find out. We'll find out. But she doesn't want to have a discussion with Wolf Wolf Napa. You know what I'm saying? Frankie wants it. He's insisting, and she's basically she says she doesn't give a f about that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see where it goes, man. You know, I was just told about her about the brother J. Heru, and from what he said, she seems a bit off, but you know, she's not the only one. However, I haven't heard her making excuses or co-signing any rapists or child molesters. So that's that's good enough so far. So far, you know, and then we'll see. Cynthia G, I'm not too familiar with her, but she's been talking negatively about black men for a very long time. And you know what's funny actually? Wolf of Nepal on that new channel.
You
That
said
Frankie
Cynthia
came
G,
up.
like Cynthia Gary.
No. It's a lady that goes by the name Cynthia G, and she, no, it's not the Frankie's wife, you know. But I lost my thought now. But oh yeah, Wolf of Nepal. She said she's a woman advocate. She said that yesterday when she introduced herself. So that's the woman who was making fun of another woman, a black woman at that, that had some medical procedure, and she was making fun of that. You know what I'm saying? She's a lady who's been accused herself of molesting a child. Now I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, the child, you know, and she's not even clearing her own name.
You got to be a goddamn idiot to believe anything these people say. It's like, you know, a clown trying to say that they're, Egyptian priest. What's going to be next?
Natasha that made fun of a guy that was molested live on air. She made fun of a family that lost a child, that lost a son, telling one of the parent, talking about one of the parents saying that the child works for her now in the spirit world or something to that effect. We've already seen that she considers herself a god and she will kill us all if she wanted to.
My husband is a king, but guess what? I'm a queen. My husband is a god, but guess what? I'm a god.
So her husband, Sanada, is a god and she is a god. According to who? Woof Woof. She said it. I didn't say it. For those who don't know, she goes by the name Napasha Da.
I'll fucking blast the hell out of you motherfuckers. I'll kill all of you if I want to, but I'm a good god. I'm a very righteous god. And I let you live.
And that's the one who went live and said that for 3 years she was abused by Frankie Sanera. And she's there, she's still with the dude. I mean, talking about giving advices, talking about being a woman advocate. She said publicly that she was abused for 3 years. What an example. She even talked about her own mother. Sanera talked about her own mother and accused both of them of stealing money. And she's with the dude. If that ain't being mentally disturbed, then what is it?
You know, something I'll say about folks like the Cynthia G or the new girl there, or anyone like them, male or female, these folks that are just totally anti-male or anti-female or whatnot. Folks, you got to listen with her if you're going to listen to that stuff. I personally don't. I've heard a couple of things and quickly figured out game and left it alone. But these folks, when they do their thing and they're speaking how they speak or whatever about, or making comparisons between the genders and whatnot, they make sure that they pick certain topics where the other gender, the enemy gender, will always like outrank the preferred gender in whatever negative activity they're talking about. like I heard for years, you know, one of the criticisms of Black men was the interracial dating or whatever, right? Because Black men do it more than Black women. They're always going to pick stuff that the other gender does more if it's negative. That's just how the game is played. And like I've been in those conversations in the past where people use those kinds of examples, and I'd just be like, well, what's the threshold then? Because Black women are engaging in it too, and the numbers are only rising. So what's the acceptable amount, and what's the threshold where now it becomes unacceptable? And they never have that. Because the acceptable limit is always going to be whatever rate they're doing it at, and the unacceptable amount will always be whatever the enemy gender is doing it at. So even though, you know, the like where they're at with it right now, the enemy gender was at that point a few years back and it was considered bad, but now it's acceptable because their gender is doing it. So it's all foolishness. I remember seeing back in like 2018, I saw Cynthia G on a YouTube with probably about 5 or 6 other people or something. It was like 3 women, 3 men, something like that. The host was this guy he's a light-skinned guy with a bushy hair, Angel or something like that, I think his name was. But they were talking about slavery or just Black issues maybe, but I just remember this part about slavery. And Cynthia G made a point about how Black men never there was never any like organized group effort by Black men during slavery to rise up and like save Black women or something.
She hasn't heard about the maroon.
And the thing is,
I haven't heard about a lot of people, man.
That was the reaction that the other people on the panel had, was to try to give examples of rebellions to slavery and whatnot. But she was like, nah, she's not talking about that. She's talking about, and she's talking about America. She's talking about a large scale, nationwide, organized rebellion by Black men against slavery that never happened. They kept on going with the examples of the smaller rebellions and whatnot. And I was just like, they didn't get what she did, and it gave her the appearance of being right. Because all you need to do is just be like, sometimes you can concede the point, because she's trolling. That's what she's doing. There was never any organized effort like that on for anything back in those days with Black folks. Remember when
Nationwide
1855 came around and they put out a 13th Amendment telling you that you're free? It took years for that information to reach all Black people. They had a 2020 special some years back, I remember, where they were talking about some Black folks that was still enslaved up into the 1960s.
Yes, sir.
Telegram was going by horse.
Like Black people were very, very isolated from each other. Remember, there was that story about the dude who the only way that he could get to freedom was by putting himself in a box and mailing himself to some free state or something like that. Like the surveillance of Black people was off the hook back then. So like trying to spread a secret nationwide when they couldn't even spread the wide open news of freedom and get it to everybody, is ridiculous. Like you might as well have said, well, Black people didn't flap their wings and fly off into the sky back during slavery. Yeah, you're right, because they couldn't.
A telegram was horse. It was by horse, man.
Go ahead, Divine Inspired. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, peace to y'all, man. Peace to the chat too. You know, I was going to say like this: anything that's associated with the House of Clowns over there, it's almost like a multi-layered rotten onion, and you peel a layer, and there's another layer, and you peel that layer, and it's another, and it's all rotten. Anything to do with filthy Frank water, man, is just disgusting. So when you look at now, you have Ankh who's trying to distance himself when he's chilling with them, when he's cool with he hasn't denounced anyone, and he's on Tasha K's platform saying, "Oh, you got to separate me from them." No, you don't. It's too late for that, buddy. It's too late, right? You know, when you're sitting there laughing and kikiing or whatever, and then you're talking about how this guy the mighty Hebrew is some sort of like chomo or whatever, right? Okay, but yet this guy still has him on his platform, you know. So where's the outrage? There's no outrage, you know. And then now, like Afimi said, you know, you have Princella here, right? And she's not, you know, she's giving like advice here, right? And she's got really like no business giving that advice. And she even said something that was crazy to me. She said, "Oh, the first human ancestors found was a female, the oldest." So wait a minute, what? She just came up through osmosis? That's the one they found, but they found a male one that's older than that, by the way. But the thing is that what's your point? Is it all anti-man, anti-black man?
The point with that is something that they've been saying for years is, you know, that male comes from female. That they every now and then they'll throw out that thing about how we all start off as female in the womb and stuff like that.
You know they say
that's what that's about.
You know, almost a degenerate female. That's what they say.
Natural Tahudi said that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You know?
we got a retarded chromosome or something. He said.
Yeah, we're a degenerate female, and that we're all in the womb female until a certain point. No, we're not. No, we're not, and that's disgusting. You know. To me, Natural Tahudi is where he's at. He deserves to be in that place, man, for real. You know, because we got to call it out as we see it. These people are unfortunately shaping the minds of others, and they're misshaping them. You know, so these are the people in this community here, you know, and like people like Filthy Frankie and Butler Reggie, you know, and they say these things and they do things would have that contrary to what they say Black African power, right? No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You are an agent. Simple and plain. You're agents. And you're disingenuous, you're dishonest, to say the least, and disgusting. You know, and it's just mind blowing to me, you know, that they have so many followers, and you read the comments.
They buy the views, brother. They pay for views and subscribers.
That's true too. That's true too. You know, but even like with so-called Chief X, right? Where you have like all these racist North Africans who will use his information against you in certain groups, what have you. They say, "Hey, what about this?" Like, who the hell is that? Chief X? You're gonna go by him? Then you might as well go by Stan Lee. You know, you might as well go by any other falsehood. He is not qualified.
But that's funny you said that, because Chief X said several times that Garfield Reed is an expert on the Bible. So that tells you the intellectual level. You know, Garfield is a real clown. You know, anybody can read some Christian apologies blog. You know, Garfield Reed had 500 slides when he was about to go and debate Jabari. Who the heck has 500 slides for a debate that he did not even show up for? And he had the help of the Butler Reggie. See, Herbie turned channel off. He's asking who is Natural Tahuti. He's currently in jail over some drug. He's been charged, I think, with murder. I don't know if he was convicted. And he used to be down with Filthy Frankie. He was first down with Sarsuddin Seti. Then, after his debate with Dr. Wesley Muhammad, he denounced Seti publicly. Acting like Seti left him, so that he could have been, in harm's way or whatever. But, and then, Filthy Frankie and Tahuti, they had the gear, what I'm saying, just like similar to the gear that Seti had at some point. And they came up with that United Front. I forgot the beginning of the name, but something like Black Power United Front or whatever, So I'm just looking for some quotes. I think I had the video back then, but obviously it's no longer on YouTube. Yes, indeed. But here is the article where I wrote some of the quotes. It's right here in the chat. Hold on, let me turn that off. Okay. So I entitled it, and that was way before he was in jail, because I want people to think that I'm, kicking a man when he's down. Natural Tahuti took the black womanist God to another level, on steroids, one could say. The video bottom page is made of excerpts from Natural Tahuti and Sahanera's YouTube account. When asked by Sahanera, can a woman have a baby without being touched by a man, Natural Tahuti answers, yes, she can. He claims that there is no evidence that a sperm enters an egg. When asked by Brother Shabazz, show me a woman on the planet Earth that produced a child without a man, Natural Tahuti replied, when you come to the lecture paying your $10 to get in, I'm going to have all the evidence for you on stage. Natural Tahuti claims that some women had unnatural sex anally and they produced babies. Senator said, you had to know that you would get a backlash coming out with this type of teaching, especially when you said that the black man can breastfeed, to which Natural Tahuti replied, he can. Natural Tahuti then says, a man is nothing more than a degenerate woman, a degenerate female. He added, you can go online and look for milkmen, men who are lactating milk out of their breast. Also, he said that the Nation of Islam teach that the planet was all men, and when the moon was blown up, the weak men lay down and their penises went up inside them and they got vaginas. Natural Tahuti's most recent claims are that patriarchy did begin to start taking around King Menes. In the 18th dynasty, when the priesthood became so corrupt, the priesthood of Amen and the sons of Horus, for the first time on the planet, did something that had never done before, and that was they went and destroyed the temples of the Great Mother. So, unfortunately, you have the link to the video, but it's no longer online. You would have been able to see it. Maybe it's floating. Maybe somebody has it in the archive. But you heard right. He claimed that a man is nothing more than a degenerate woman, a degenerate female. And Sanada promoted that.
When you hear women like Princella and whatnot talk about the old bones that they find where they say they were all female, what they're trying to get at is that back then they'll say women were able to reproduce. There's a term for it, but it's something that happens more so with like lizards, amphibians.
Parthenogenesis.
Yeah, that's what they're actually trying to get at, and they'll say women. But just 2 points. They've never had any archaeological site where they found bones of a bunch of hominids, let's say, and they were all just one sex. That's never happened. Any of these sites where they find bones of a bunch of different people, it's both males and females that they find. And I stress that they'll say that they're talking about women because what you're talking about with some of this stuff, the times that it goes back to, 500,000 years, 1 million years, 2 million. You're not even talking about human beings. You're not talking about anything that you would ever, unless you are a degenerate, that you would ever look at and figure that you're going to have sex with it. You're not talking about human beings. So it's all just stuff that they're making up. They're just totally just lying, and people are going for it. I'll be right back.
And for the record, divinely inspired, I misspelled his name, sorry about this. He mentioned parthenogenesis, and indeed Natural Tahiti was talking about that. VB wrote whatever that was, it was swimming in the water still, LOL. We have Andrea in the place to be. Feel free, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we have to really start exposing these frauds when we see them, when they first come out. You know, so they don't get their filthy hooks into people's brains, man, and turn them into mush. You know, that's why Shaka, man, I respect you 100%, because you've been doing this, you've been doing that since I've known you on YouTube, man. You know, so I share to you, brother. You know, but you know, and platforms like Queen's Throne, you know, and I didn't see that live stream with Nandy, but shit, that's heavy duty right there. She's calling out, you know, informants too. Ooh, interesting. But yeah, we have to really, you know, really get in on people, man, because our people's mentality, you know, are in jeopardy, man, worldwide. I don't care where you're from or where you're at. It's insane. That's all I got to say.
They have some examples that they'll use sometimes, like what Shaka was reading about men breastfeeding. I saw one story once about some tribe in West Africa, I think in Guinea or something like that, maybe Cameroon, where you had this one tribe where the dudes were taking care of the babies, and they went so far as to have the babies sucking on their nipples and whatnot. I don't remember, maybe it traumatized me so much, I don't remember the details after that, if those men actually began lactating or not, but it was something that they were doing. They'll for the stuff about we all start out as female, they'll use sometimes a story that came out of the Dominican Republic of these kids that were basically born underdeveloped, because when you're in the womb as a baby, there's a sort of puberty that you go through when you're a male. You know, XY determines if you're male, X determines if you're female. But sometimes that puberty doesn't happen. It's a time in there where there's a rush of hormones. What you call the male hormone again? Not estrogen, but testosterone, and that makes them develop further, differentiating. You know what I'm saying, and becoming more male and whatnot. But it doesn't happen in the womb for them. So when they come out, they're underdeveloped, and the doctors sometimes mistake this and will classify them as female, and so they'll be raised up by their parents as female while they're children, and then when they reach like 12 years old or something like that, when that puberty outside of the womb takes place, it starts to become clearer that these are actually males. But some of them some of them, when they were babies, the doctors actually chopped off their penis. But anyway, that it goes to show that what people are describing as female is really just immaturity. And yes, they're also being immature in doing this, but they're describing a state of immaturity as being female. Like when I was a kid, up to a certain point, I talked in a really high-pitched voice. And, they're describing that as female as opposed to just immaturity. It's just a sign of immaturity. Just like when a woman reaches a certain age and she might have some hormonal problems and whatnot when she's going through, what do you call that?
Menopause.
They'll have some hormonal issues and they might start growing some facial hair. That doesn't mean that they're becoming men. It's just the hormonal issue. And that's the way it is with children. I'm not a female because I haven't grown a beard yet, or I started growing my beard when I was 12 years old. I wasn't a female before that. It's just immaturity. You just take, like, the process of maturation for human beings goes all the way up into your 20s. Like becoming a full human being, your brain isn't fully developed until you're in your 20s and all of that. But that doesn't mean that you weren't who you are. That was already determined by your chromosomes. But this is the type of stuff that these people do. They just totally take that stuff and just rework it, throw it out there and say that they're professionals, and you can call them for some consultation for an hour for $300.
There you go. And thank you, Divinely Inspired. I heard everything you said. I was just away from my desk, but I had the headset on.
My pleasure, brother.
And I've seen many different people, charging, these kind of fees. I've seen people like, hold on. Let me see. It's Andrea Burnett. Andrea Burnett. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing well. I was just gonna say I agree with you, Femi. I mean, I don't know if any woman. I put a little comment out there. If any woman pays to listen to that nonsense, they deserve all the consequences that come with that. Exactly. They deserve them all. There is no reason. I'm against men haters just as much as I'm against women haters. This is absolutely insane that anybody would pay $300 to listen to that nonsense. It's insane, but there are people who do it because it fits it fits what's going on in their cranium to justify the bad behavior that they are participating in. And if any woman pays to hear that BS, they deserve every consequence that comes with that. I will never. That's something I will never tell nobody to do. And I also tell women, don't go roll up on a man thinking you can beat up a man either, because you get clocked one time. All these women who want to think they were men, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Go and step up to a real one and see just how much of a man you really ain't. Go ahead and walk and talk like you're big, bad, and bold. Go ahead on. A real man will big, bad, and bold knock you completely the hell out. Go ahead on. I'm sorry. I don't buy into none of that narrative either way. All these men start talking bad about women and saying stupid stuff. Hey, shut your mouth and go sit down somewhere because you know what you're talking about. And the same thing on the other side. Don't play those kind of games that you don't know nothing about, right? Your testosterone does things for you that are, you have estrogen, you just don't have as much of it as we do. We have testosterone, we just don't have as much as you do. Well, you got hormones, you got feelings and emotions just like we do. You just emote one way, we emote another way. It's the same. It's all the same. They're hormones. And if there's an irregularity in your hormones, you're gonna have problems, right? You're gonna have to go figure out why your testosterone is too low, and ours we have to figure out why our estrogen is too high, or whatever the case may be. But all this stuff that over on that channel, as far as man hating, I listen just a little bit enough to make my head hurt really bad, and I'm like, I can't listen no more. Can't do it. I love men too much to even listen to that nonsense. Men are awesome. I don't care. I don't care anybody has to say. Y'all are awesome, and y'all do us well. And just because she might have rolled up on the wrong one, hey, that's just the wrong fish that you caught. You should have thrown back. Go find you another one.
And the thing is, a lot of time with these folks, men and women that promote this stuff, they'll have those stories about, the wrong one, right? But a lot of these folks never really wanted to be with a black person to begin with. So they were never gonna behave in a way with them that would preserve a relationship.
That's true.
They act in a certain way to basically sabotage the relationship.
That's
and then
true too.
Afterwards, they'll have these stories about all these black folks that did them wrong, and then they'll get into a relationship with someone of another race, like a white person or whatever, and magically somehow the first ever white one was the right one. They never have any stories about, any bad white people that they were in relationships with and so on and so forth. No, the first white one was always the right one. It just works out that way.
Yeah.
You see in media stories about black folks breaking up with each other, like celebrities, athletes, or whatever, and then one of them ends up with a white person in the next relationship. The way that people always frame that is, black people that they were in relationships with did something wrong, and that's why they ended up with a white. They never say that all the white people that the white person was in a relationship with, had negative traits, and that's why they're now with a black person. So it's always just black is bad.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos divorced not long ago. One of the most expensive divorce, one of the biggest divorce settlement or payoff or whatever you want to call it. And I didn't hear people, he did her wrong or she did him wrong. They're separated and that happens. It's life. It's part of life.
Yeah, that's so true. It's just no. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it seems sometimes like some people will get into a relationship and then they'll be able to say, I've been there, but some will get into a bad relationship. It happens, maybe one, maybe several bad relationship, you know what I'm saying? But there's good and bad everywhere, But go ahead, Sister Angel.
No, I was gonna say, I when my kids were growing up, they were like, when decide, what race one, they said the black girls are too loud. I said, louder than who? Louder than who? And what, you? Louder than who? I said, don't. If you want to be with one, just go be with one. But don't try to make excuses about our behavior to justify what you want to do. If you want one of them, go get one of them. I'm not going to tell you not to. But don't use us as a scapegoat, because you might as well be talking about your mama.
And they'll go and be with someone of another race that acts exactly the way that they say they didn't like with a black person. Like I don't like the sassy attitude from black women and whatnot. So I got with a Latina. I like that she's fiery and it's the same stuff, but
same stuff. Yeah,
black, it's negative.
Yeah, but I don't. Like I said, I love our people. So even though I know that some of our people are doing wrong, I still love our people. The ones that are doing wrong need to check their behavior and fix it. They nothing's unfixable except for what you don't want to fix. That's when it's unfixable, because you don't want to do anything about changing your behavior, changing your mindset, because we're not too far from, none of us are where we can't learn. If you choose not to, because there's so much out here. There's too much information out here as far as how the body operates and what can cause us to have certain kind of problems and hormone abnormality kind of stuff, to get a better grip and understanding. Back in the day, we didn't have all that, but nowadays there's no excuse for anybody not to Like I will tell you, like I told you before, your pituitary gland has a lot to do with all your hormones. And that could be wreaking all kinds of havoc. And most people don't get that checked out. It could be causing all kinds of problems. I found out the hard way because I didn't know that. And I found out what it does and how it does what it does. But a lot of that's not checked because that's not like high on anybody's radar to be checked. They check your other hormones, but they don't check that particular thing that is a hormone producing gland. So all that's got to be factored in. And when we don't take the time to do the homework to make sure we're okay, ain't no telling what's going to come out, right? But I know one thing for sure. There is nothing a woman can do for me but be a friend. That's it. There ain't nothing a woman can do for me. Those who want to be with other women, that go ahead and knock yourself out. But you don't need to make an excuse about a man in order for you to want to be with another woman. If you want to be with another, just go be with one. But don't put our men down in the process because you choose that you don't want to be with a man. That's okay. Knock yourself out. But I'm sorry. I don't like all that. Me personally, I don't like that. Just be comfortable in your skin. You ain't got to say men are incapable of loving. Maybe the one you was with. Maybe you're the one who's the man, since you want to put yourself in a man's shoes, right? Because her tone to me sounds just as, sounds sort of kind of masculine. Maybe you don't want. No, maybe you're not loving.
That's a hateful statement that men are incapable of loving. That means she hates men. That's what that means. So that's all I need to know is like, okay, well, I stay the hell away from your ass, like entirely, completely. And thank you for letting the public know how you feel. Because no man should expect to get anything from that person, even kindness, fairness, anything just that you would expect generally from a decent person. Don't expect it because that person hates you.
Yep. That's what I told my husband. I said that's a man hating woman right now. Like I said, made my head hurt. I'm like, I can't listen to this no more. This is ridiculous. I'm okay. Whatever floats your boat. Go ahead and get on out there and float your boat. Yeah.
If somebody can give me the timestamp of that lady,
it's misandry. It's misandrist. It's a misandrist statement, to say that. I mean, that men are incapable of loving. It's just the female version of misogyny.
Misogyny. Yeah.
It's just the opposite version of it.
Yeah.
And I would love to have that timestamp, so I could use the clip. You know what I'm saying? Because that statement is really off to me. But I haven't heard it myself. I was told it was reported to me. So if anybody knows, the video and the timestamp, feel free to let me know. Send me an email.
The moment you start catering to those kind of words, male or female, you are in for abuse.
Yeah,
you're in for abuse. That's all that is.
Because you have to try to, to me, it's like you got to try to get an understanding of the other side. I mean, I'm sure we don't think alike. I'm sure we don't. There's things that we just, and that's okay. That's from male to male and female to female and male to female. Everybody, just because we're women, we don't all have the same thought processes. Just because you're a man, you don't have all the same thought processes. And, so to lump everybody in the same kind of this and that's where you get in trouble. All this broad brushing and painting everybody with a broad brush. And this is how all black people are. And this is how black men are. This is how black women are. It's just an easy, just like you were saying yesterday, Bennett, it's just an easy way. Or this morning, whenever it was, I try to stay up for all y'all stuff. Sometimes I'll catch it. But it's just an easy way to excuse your behavior, to give yourself an out of what you don't want to change and recognize within yourself that needs to be changed. It's easy to broad brush, right? So I try my best not to do that.
Because, let's say you're exhibiting all the great behavior, all the good things that a person would ask for. You're exhibiting that. You're treating people well, how you want to be treated. You're being fair. You're doing all these things. And then somebody just looks at you and says, well, you're a man, so I can stab you in the back. I can harm you. You gave me all this good treatment, but to hell with you anyway. I mean, who the hell would want to go through that?
Yeah.
Right? Nobody. So, I mean, and women should also think about that when men make these kind of misogynistic statements, just understand that's what you're hearing. That's why I say all the time, I mean, who is going to listen to programming where they're constantly calling women the B word?
Exactly.
What black person is going to listen to programming where they're constantly calling you the N word? I mean, just accept what it is. And what man is going to sit there and listen to a woman say something like you're incapable of loving? It's like, okay, so you're trying to tell me I shouldn't procreate? I shouldn't reproduce? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Like,
but she says that that's not all y'all want is to F and to fight. That's all you're good for is for effing and fighting.
Yeah. And the worst part about it is that who came and did it? Who came and involved me in that survey? Yeah. Who came in and added me? What did they do? How many people on earth did they make a part of some survey where they did some testing? I don't even know what kind of testing they did, but I already know enough about this kind of testing to know that that's just a garbage study. It's garbage. You know something? I got in a lot of trouble for calling out a man who made a statement like that. He claimed science supported the fact that women want to be controlled, basically, right? And yeah. And I cursed this dude out right when he said this on the stairs of an event where activists, nothing but activists there. But here's the crazy thing. When I came back to Denmark and told people what had happened, I didn't tell people proudly. I told people quietly what had happened because this person had to be expelled, right? Because they made that statement. Now, and a couple other things turned out that he did, right? They go along with the statement like that. But guess what? I found out that there were black women, the black women that heard him, that were outraged in Germany. They were like, way to go, V, way to go. Thank you. You're an ally. But when I went back to Denmark, there was a lot of black women that didn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. They went against the other black women. And, that kind of bothered me for a minute because I thought that was so strange. I'd never seen that before. I mean, I had all the evidence. It's all in a letter. It's, these things were, there was correspondence from the accused and the accusers back and forth. And what I said was that this person had been accused of some things. And I witnessed a statement that was totally out of line. And these people still refused to take it for what it was. But I didn't let that stop me from loving black women. I just knew that, some sisters are just not there yet. Like some sisters, they're not there in the argument, but that's not all sisters. You see what I mean? At the end of the day, you just have to always expect that there's good and bad in everybody that you're going to meet, no matter who they are. Just no matter who they are. And the moment you start thinking all of somebody is bad, then that's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's just, it's sad, Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. There are so many other things to be concerned about in this world than, just hating on each other like that. We got too many other problems. We really do. That we need to work on fixing and the man hating and woman hating it just ain't, and I don't care who's doing it, I was reading David's comment, Kevin Samuels didn't tell the truth about women all the time. You can believe that if you want to. That's your opinion. But I have my opinions about him too. I didn't watch him too much because I didn't like it either. No more than I watched her too much because I didn't like hers either. We can both have, opinions about how we feel about how a man sounds to us, like you can feel about how a woman sounds to you. And we didn't like his sound. It didn't have to be so much what he was saying. It didn't sound right coming out. It didn't sound right. And it still doesn't sound right. To me, it doesn't. When you compare a woman to another woman, something's wrong with you. Because that's what he was doing. I'm one person I did hear him say, he told her, you're not a or Pam Grier in her heyday, in her day. They don't need to be comparing us to anybody. I stand on my own. I don't have to be compared to how somebody else looks. And that's what he did on that particular show that I watched. and I don't give a damn who he thinks is pretty. If I feel like I'm pretty, I don't give a damn what Kevin Samuels has to say about it. Period. End of story. And he has no business rating anybody from a scale of 0 to 10. He didn't have no right to do that. I don't care. So, you can talk about him telling people, women, they're saying stuff they didn't want to hear. All you want to. That's fine. That's your opinion. But I'm gonna agree to disagree with you on that one. Like I agree, like just like this other lady, I don't agree what she says about. Now I could jump on there and say, well, I agree with her. Then you're gonna have an issue with me saying that. I don't agree with what she says about men, not one iota. Nor do I agree with what Kevin Samuels had to say about women, one iota. Okay, we can play both ends of the spectrum. We don't have to like what people are saying for it to be true or false. We don't have to. I don't have to like because Kevin Samuels said a thing and it may sound true to you. That's fine. That's good. Then I'm gonna jump over here and agree with Priscilla. Then I agree with everything she says about black men. How about that? But you wouldn't like that because it's not true. It's not true. Kevin Samuels didn't speak the truth all the time. He spoke his truth of what he went through and the women he went through. And we have to look at it like that too. He was married twice or however many. I don't want to hear. How can somebody who couldn't maintain relationships in his own life, how he gonna tell me what it's like? You don't know. So did you keep a pretty woman? Did he keep a pretty woman? That's what I want to know. Did he have one? Did he have two? Did he have three? How many did he have? What? Whose scale did he rate a bomb? I'm sorry.
Sister Sandra, women do rate men as well. Maybe they do it less than men. But when he talked about Pam Grier, that part I haven't heard. Actually, most of his videos I haven't seen. I've just seen some excerpts that was floating on social media. But from the few times that I've out of curiosity, I went to listen to a little bit of what he was saying. It seems to me that he was more concerned about the situation than the looks. I see that a lot of time he was telling women to be realistic because a lot of them had, several children. They are single mothers. They don't necessarily have a good economic situation. Yeah, they want a man that's single, that's tall, that's handsome, that has that tax bracket, So I agree. He may have not told the truth. Who tells the truth every time? But I think that aspect of his arguments is kind of not really put to the front. I think a lot of people made a caricature of him.
No, because he would ask a woman, how much do you weigh? How tall are you? He would ask those questions. That's none of his. Who cares?
Exactly.
He did do that, Shaka. You can't.
That's the thing about it.
He was asking all those questions that some men like them big, some of them don't. Some of them like this. Some women. It goes both ways. Women like some men in a certain way. Women like men in a certain way. I mean, there are men that have children that women accept. There are men that have children that men accept. It balances the scale on both sides. All this stuff that women want a man who makes a lot of money and so forth and so on. Well, some men are intimidated with women who make a lot of money. It goes both. Huh?
Andrea, you're right. I agree because Kevin Samuels, he asked those questions like, how much do you weigh? He puts things in very stark terms, right? But the thing is, I agree with you. That's not necessarily that's not the honest way to go. Because everybody's not going to fit into that world, Everybody can't be. Everyone shouldn't be looking to have Valentino shoes on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just period. I'm not into Kevin Samuels. Period. That was his idea of what a man is.
A high value man was exactly
right. But the thing is that on the flip side, when he pointed this behavior out in guys, it was even more hilarious to me. Because sometimes he picked up dude would be like, I'm sorry, but the guy would be like living at home, 200 pounds, never had a job, and he's talking about getting a woman that's like a supermodel. Like literally talking about getting his view of a woman that he wanted was like how Kevin Samuel looks at them. You see, but I think
that's what I'm saying. He did it on both sides of the coin then, right?
Yeah, he did it on both sides of the coin. He definitely asked the guy, how much do you weigh? But I do think that it's too generalistic. It's too generalistic. And I think that's where the problem comes, because number one, people watch it and they think everyone thinks this way. Everyone applies their themselves to life in this manner. And I think that's where the confusion comes from. But yeah, it is, I would call it C-grade entertainment television.
Yeah.
Not to be, you shouldn't
taken
try to
seriously.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And Web Funk, yeah, women call in to get, yeah. And I heard one guy say, don't let those women stress you out. And then they want to blame him because women stressed him out. He didn't have to take the calls either. He didn't have to. He didn't have to be stressed out by the calls that women, the women calling him. So I'm just saying it goes both ways. I don't care for it on either side of the coin. I don't care when black men dog black women, and I don't like when black women dog black men. I don't like it on either side of the coin. It's not good for our community, period. There's not a lot of high, quote unquote, high value men out there, as he terms some of them to be, because they're not out there bragging that value. They're just done. Right? I mean, women can talk about how they want a man like that, and a man can talk about how he wants a woman to look a particular way, but at the end of the day, you're going to get who you get. You can keep trying.
Andrea, I've actually met a billionaire before, I mean, in real life, in the same room, a room that only about 8 people are in, just talking business, literally, more than once. More than twice, more than 3 times. Even with that billionaire, with just 3 people in the room talking. You see what I mean? Discussing some things. And this billionaire, he always wore a t-shirt, jeans. He took a taxi. He lived in a penthouse in New York City, literally. And he used to come down out of that penthouse and just hop in a taxi and go to the office. Nobody, if you saw this guy on the street, you would never know he was a billionaire. He was completely uninterested in all those things that Kevin Samuels talks about. You would not spot him on the street and say, that guy, I want to be like him. You wouldn't, because he just wasn't interested in those things. He did have a very, in his office, he had like multi-million-dollar painting in his office. If people want to know what the painting is, if you're into art and things like that, but his clothes, you would never be able to spot him on the street. And I think that's the reality that people need to understand, that most wealthy people and insane people don't show their money. Just sane people don't show their money.
Because I met Ross Perot at a chiropractor's office. You wouldn't have known that was him. Wouldn't have known that was him. He had on a pair of blue jeans and a regular shirt and didn't even drive a flashy car. You wouldn't have known. I just know who he is, right?
Exactly.
It's like it doesn't take all that. I'm just saying I don't like it from neither side. I don't care who does it. I don't care if anybody's trying to put our people down. I don't like it from either side. I don't care who does it. So I'm not a Kevin Samuels hater any more than I'm a Priscilla hater. I just don't like what they say, period. People call in and get abused for all kinds of stuff. People do all kinds of stuff for whatever reasons they do it for. But that doesn't make it what the other person is saying is as right, just because people are calling in. People calling in for all kinds of stuff, just like we don't understand why people keep going on those other platforms that we know are wrong. We know they're wrong, but people keep going because people have their own thought processes that they think fits their narrative, and that's over there, even though it's wrong. And the same thing with this other stuff. I don't agree with any of it. Like I said, on either side of the coin, I don't care who's saying it. I love our black men and I love our black women, and I think we just need to stop trying to create this divide over stupid stuff, because it's stupid at the end of the day. Because you just only know from your perspective as a man, and I can talk about my perspective as a woman, how we feel about each other, right? And so, there's plenty of, if we want to draw the line, there's plenty of stuff that we can see wrong on either side of the coin, but I just choose not to see that. That's just me. We got enough problems, and how I look And who I'm comparing, it's not solving anything. It just doesn't.
Yeah, because dysfunction is not genetics. It's not a
Nope.
genetic attribute. It's something, societal. It's something people learn, something people are placed in. It's not a natural trajectory. It's not part of the DNA. I mean, and there's been plenty of people that have tried to go through this in history, point to people's DNA as a defect, something wrong in the DNA. I mean, they've done it before, and horrible things have happened. And those are called like pseudoscientists, people that use data that way to try to make deviant or dysfunctional behavior a genetic thing for people, meaning that you're going to have it no matter what. So, men are going to have this, and so therefore they're not capable of this. It's just ridiculous,
It is.
It would be just as wrong if you said black people did this or any people did this. Yeah, I mean, and for some reason they're out there making these arguments, and I think it's just for money. I know it's for money. It's for nothing else. Very few people make this kind of performance for if it's not for money. I think that's my personal view of it. And sure, women they do have real issues with reality, with life, with the way the world is and society is, just like young men grow up and having real issues with the way society is. I mean, who wants to grow up in a violent society that has ramifications for the rest of your life? But that's not your genes. You could take a person out of that situation, put them somewhere else, and those issues are gone. You see? So it's not their genes. It's no different than, if I was to live out my trajectory in Washington, D.C., should have been dead already. You see what I mean? I mean, it's just that way. But you put me in a different place and I'm not dead. I'm actually of some use. You see? And I think, those kind of arguments are just sad. And, it's just another hustle. That's what I look at it as.
Okay, I was on the phone, so I didn't hear much of what was said, but I caught the tail end of V. Bennett talking about associating negative stuff with genetics and whatnot. Like the societies that we live in are just very anti-black, very anti. And they work really hard to make associations between black people genetically and just anything that it can be negative things, it can be things that aren't negative or positive, but they'll make it negative. Like we were talking about accents just the other day and how they regard black people's accents. I mean, that's not an accent is not a good or a bad thing. It just is. But they'll make it a negative thing with black folks.
Right.
Or just your dialect. I remember seeing the first Thor movie that came out some years back, Marvel, MCU stuff or whatever. I don't remember the year it came out, 2013, I don't know. But there's a scene in that movie, you can even see it on YouTube, where Thor is in a car with the love interest in that movie, Jane Foster, I believe the character's name is. She's driving, he's the passenger. And, the Thor and the rest of the Asgardians in the MCU movies, they all speak in like an older form of English. I won't say old English, but it's an older form of English. And she's hearing him speak this way. And he, like, when he's talking about the earth, he's calling it realm and all this type of stuff. And she starts to like giggle or something, and he notices and he says, "You think me strange?" in that older English or whatever. And I'm like, there's two ways that we would say, like in English in America, you would say, "Do you think I'm strange?" In how black folks speak, they would more so say, "You think I'm strange?" They're actually closer to that older form of English. And in Jamaica, how we would say it, we have two different ways we would say it. And one is, you think me strange. It's just in our Jamaican accent. You think I'm strange? That's all. But they call that broken English. We're saying the same exact thing. But they call it broken English because it's coming out of a set of black lips.
No, hold on. I would like to concur. I lived in England, and I'm not saying it's the proper English, but I remember one guy who told me, "That's me, brother." You know, he was a white dude. Not to say that because he's white, he's right, but you know, it's a white British dude, and you can hear, you know, I'm gonna wash me hands. So sometimes they will speak like that. You know, once again, not saying that's the proper English, but sometimes they will speak like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when you hear black folks up here talking about not nary or whatever, nary is not a word that black folks made up. It's just an older form of English. But when black folks say it, they'll call it broken English. So they just go out of their way.
Sorry, what was that, brother, with Mary?
Nary. And
Merry Christmas?
Nary.
No,
Nary.
Oh, okay, what does that mean?
And like Nancy.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Nary?
It just means nothing.
None. Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nary one of y'all.
Nada.
Yeah.
But I guess the big thing with Black Americans is the ask.
Oh yeah. Oh, that.
There was
that's
a
a pet
skit
peeve.
on YouTube, you know, a skit, and you know, the person was doing a job interview and you know, answering all the questions right, and it's okay. The last one, you know, just say ask. And, you know, so.
And all that is just that's a product of just the languages that we come from. That kind of letter order, S and K together like that, is just not something that we did in our languages. So, you know, we say ax. It's the same thing in Jamaica. We do the same thing with the word ask. We do the same thing with desk. We just say dex. So it goes on and on.
Yeah, and I remember
that's what got.
Go ahead, Cesar. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's where some people think, you know, you think you think you're better because you can pronounce your words right. No, it's just we learned how to pronounce them right. That's all.
You're pronouncing it right according to your accent. Simple as that. Because the English themselves have all kind of ways that they pronounce words.
Yeah.
And you know, like people like Koreans, there's a lot of words, you know, that they will struggle with, you know, and it's based, you know, on their native tongue, and it makes it difficult. Or Italians as well, you know. Now for them to say meatballs, they would say meatballs. You know, there's I think Ernest Smith, who's a linguist, you know, who was introduced by Khalid Abdul Mohammed, you know, and he could tell he knows his stuff, you know. Though he was arguing that Ebonics is a language, I disagree, but you know, I ain't gonna say too much because I'm not an FBA. I don't want to get some hate, but yeah, he went over, you know, people's pronunciation based on their mother tongue.
And it's half of it is based on how they used to speak their mother tongues. The other half of it is what set of English people they were exposed to. Because like you'll hear Africans say the word here, for instance, a lot of times as he. Because the English people the English speakers that they were exposed to say here with that R at R sign at the end. But there's some English speakers that say here. That's how they say it. That's why you have some Africans or Jamaicans. That's why like Dea or Medea, that ya is here. But we don't pronounce H's at the beginnings of words. Well, pretty much anywhere in the word. We don't pronounce H in Jamaica. So here becomes just ya. That's where you get in you know, Gullah Geechee, the kumbaya, my lord, the ya that they're saying is here. It's here. Because those are the English speakers that they were exposed to. There's a lot of like old, we retain a lot of old stuff from the English language in the way that we speak. And then these white folks over here, they've left that stuff, they've forgotten it, and they hear it from us and think that we're breaking their language.
Yeah. But anyway, Shaka, I didn't mean to get on you a little bit, but
I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it at all. I know. It's so
okay.
good. We never agree on everything, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, you know, the thing is that, and it's sensitive. But usually maybe if you get 10 women and you have several dudes that she has to choose from, then probably she may not choose the ones that are overweight. And it may be the same, you know, if you have 10 guys and you present 10 females for them to choose from, maybe they will not, you know, choose the ones that are overweight. And indeed, some people like them big, some people like them thick. You know, I don't like skinny myself personally. So, but at the end of the day, it's very sensitive when it comes to Kevin Samuels. But I feel like I feel like there's a bit of hypocrisy actually, because when women say the same things or act the same way, they don't get that bad rep. But I guess we never agree on everything. For example, when we talk about feminists, actually it's twofold. There's a lot of black women who are very angry when they find out that the popular actor, black actor, is in a relationship with a white woman. And sometimes they will criticize the person and say some bad stuff and all that, you know. And there was even the issue with Wesley Snipes. It's kind of an urban legend that he would have said something bad about black women. But actually, if you look at the article, it was saying something to the effect that, you know, when you come from work and you're tired, you just want to have some nagging. But I'm paraphrasing. But there was, I forgot who was, some celebrity that got into some trouble, and a lot of women were like, oh, good for him and all that. He didn't like black women. But when you have black female celebrities that's in a relationship with some white man, the same black woman who acted like they were betrayed, we don't hear them say, oh, that girl, you know what I'm saying, she went with a white dude, you know. And also, like feminists, usually they would just criticize men, make excuses for women. And I'm not saying it's all feminists, but I've noticed that a lot of them do. And for example, if you hear about, you know, a male being a rapist or a child molester, you know, of course you will hear the uproar and all that. But when you have the school teacher females that have sex with their students, well, I don't hear the feminists anymore. You know, but you know, I guess like Love Milford says, it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the way, you know, again, it's the way society does stuff, right? I mean, this is the way I look at it. Okay, a lot of the laws and stuff that are in the books were put, and you know, I know sometimes I just have to keep going back. It's men write those laws and those books. Women haven't had a lot to do with laws that are written that regulates behavior. So, like, if a woman does it to a young man or a teenager, it's not looked at the same way, because men look at, oh man, oh yeah, you got you one, oh yeah. You almost cheer them for their notch in their belt, right? Man, you banged your teacher, man. What? Oh, give me some, right?
Yeah, but that's not the judges. That's not the court, though. You know, I can't understand.
I'm just saying, it's the mindset that's out there that if you do it to, if you violate a woman like that, it's considered wrong, because we're not as strong as you, and we can't fight back. But when in some situations, the teenagers or younger men can't do that either, or younger boys can't do that either. But it's still considered as that you conquered something. It was a conquest, and so I just say it's just been pushed through society that those things are okay for boys to do that, but it's not the other way around. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The same thing with a whole bunch of other situations, circumstances in especially here in America, and I can't speak for any other country, a lot of these laws put in the books, put in by Black people, and they definitely weren't put in by women. A lot of these laws didn't come from us. So we're subjected to all this unfairness in the systems when it comes to child support and all kinds of stuff. All that stuff is not, we didn't do that. You know, we didn't write those that says that, you know, the children go with the mother automatically and the father has to pay. We didn't put that down there, you know. So if those laws need to be changed from within, there needs to be a more and with men to say we don't like that, because a lot of men are paying child support for children that are not theirs. I think that is completely wrong. It's just mind-boggling. And then some of these judges, well, you've been the only father that they have, so I'm going to make you continue to pay. That to me is wrong. It's just wrong. But somewhere it's going to have to be changed, and it's going to be from men. You're going to have to rise up and change that. And with women alongside to say we don't agree with it either. I don't agree with a man paying for somebody's child that is not his unless you adopted them or unless you agree to that arrangement. But it's unfair. I mean, a lot of the stuff is just unfair, and I will be one of the first ones to, you know, in certain categories and situations, circumstances, I'll be right there on the side of you saying, yeah, that's wrong. I sure would, because it is. So, you know, it's just unfortunate. But when I was younger, I wanted a man that looked good. Now that I'm older, I don't really care. You know?
Yes, as time goes back, the looks matters.
It matters less.
Yeah. What's up, Harold?
Yeah, bring me up to date. Andrina, stop all the noise. I'm in the building now. Young Harold.
Hey, I got my belt though.
The king has arrived. The king has arrived.
Oh yeah,
now,
yeah.
Who is the informer you are talking about?
Well,
and why Andrina making all this noise about Kevin Samuels?
No, we were talking about two different people, and somebody made a comment, and I just commented back. But we were talking about Princella and Kevin Samuels at the same time.
Oh, that thing over there.
That thing over there. Yeah, all that. Yeah, that thing. And I was just saying I disagreed with both of them. That's what I was saying. I wasn't just bashing him. I didn't like. I don't like what he says either. So I
never really listened to that woman because it's hard for my ears. You know, my eardrum want to bust.
Is that me going in there?
Because you can, like, Kevin Samuel, certain things I don't agree with, but at least I could listen to what he have to say. But the woman, the things she's saying, it's just disgusting and ridiculous. Some things I understand where Andrina coming from, but sometimes I don't think Kevin Samuel is the kind of man that just going to go out there and tell women these things. It's the mentality that they come with on his show and think they deserve whatever they want to deserve, no matter how they look, you know, their weight, whatever the case may be. But they think they deserve the best looking man, the athlete, the one that's in the gym, the one that's making all the money. So sometimes that's why I think Kevin Samuel, have to put them in their place. Like, don't because.
But he would, But at the same time, though, he wouldn't let them come back and this is my show. You ain't gonna talk to me. Well, then you get people to fight back at you, but he won't let them do that. So I just, like I said, I disagree with both of them.
Yeah, everybody have the right to disagree with certain things. I disagree with some stuff. Some stuff I agree with him, regardless of what. I don't mean I have any emotional take in it. Like, it doesn't concern me. It's not me. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I ain't trying to be no counselor. I ain't trying to be no Weight Watcher, none of that. So
all of that. I just, my two things with him is rating women, and then he would ask them how much you weigh and all this other kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, like I said, there's somebody for everybody. Calling on his show.
Yeah, but
he ain't got to talk to them either, but he does.
Yeah, because he's trying to set them straight. You got to understand. You might feel a certain way, but there might be another 5,000 out there that have a way different perspective and a judgmental on men, and it's vice versa. It's vice versa.
And that's what I said. I don't like either side. Either side that just tries to try to find something that's going to tear us down and tear us apart. And I don't like it from either side. I don't care who's saying it. Like the lady on the other side who's saying bad thing about black men. My head can't take that no more than it could take what Kevin Samuels had to say. I don't like it from either side. I don't care who's saying it. Doesn't make it right from either one of the parties. I think it's just, we keep trying to find things that divide us more than
both of them
not.
Both of them are wrong, but I'm just saying, like, that woman, you can't even have a discussion with her. You know what I'm saying? At least you could have a discussion with Kevin Samuel, because she mean what she's saying, and that's it. There is no way she tried to. I don't get it, but you know, at least Kevin Samuels used to go to the statics and the numbers and how people behave among each other, which is a problem.
Well, she claims she got stats and numbers too, because she's from whatever degree she has or whatever. To prove that, you know, y'all, you know, you ain't capable of loving. Also, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't buy none of that. That's my point. I don't care what stats people have. I don't care. You know, the stats don't necessarily have to deal with how you were in a relationship with different people, right? You might not even fit none of those statistics out there because your relationships didn't go that way.
Yeah, humans will make all kind of excuses to live their stupid lifestyle. Because if she was there sleeping with a man, she would never be saying these kind of things. So go sleep with what you want to be. Like, become a fish for all I care. Swim in water all day. You see what I'm saying? But don't criticize men because you want to live that lifestyle. And that's the issue, bro. All these things is all because she wants to do whatever she wants to do and try to classify it as why she doing. Like, get the hell out of here, woman.
Yeah, and that was my whole point.
It will be the last one that do that.
Yeah, and that was my whole point. If you don't want to be with a man, don't be with one, but don't try to use them as your scapegoat as to why you don't want to be with a man. Just don't be with one. You ain't gotta say that. That's with anybody. If you want to be with somebody, you know, if you want to be with somebody fat and somebody's like, oh, you know, you ain't got, hey, if you don't want to go on, you be with who you want to be with. Nobody should have to. It doesn't matter.
The one thing about me, I don't give a damn what nobody say. I love my thick things. Even my brothers be making jokes with me, you know, that's their type. I'm like, yeah, you damn right, that's my type.
That's my type. But I'm telling you, as you get older,
as long
as you get older,
she's solid and she smell good, and you know, in the face, we could talk. But I mean, that's the problem with society. People, you know.
Yeah. As you get older, it doesn't. I mean, when you're young, all those things seem like they have some kind of place, and then as you get older, you don't give a damn about all that unless you just still if you just you know. And some people still want to, you know, look good, and that's fine. You want to look good all until you're 67, 80. I'm not trying to dismiss all that, but you know, after a while, just, you know, things just don't add up to what things look like, and so it's all good.
Who is the informer?
Well, Sister Nandy made a live stream yesterday. She said that Bobby Banga, aka Brother Onk, is an informant. She also said that Wu Jiao was an informant. Many of you may not know Jiao. He was one of the Riparian Knights. You know, he's teaching meditation.
Well. It never ends with these guys.
But actually, just for the record, maybe you didn't see it, but let me play these 36 seconds long.
Hold on. So you, Sonetta Polite, was not all on 125th Street, you know, giving...
Don't forget the red pill. Yeah, don't forget red pill, blue pill. I got a list for you because I don't want you to leave them out. Don't leave nobody out. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this straight, since this is where we at. Don't leave out red pill, blue pill, stinky inky, feel good Valentine, Delbert Blair, the young pseudo, aka young Pharaoh. Don't leave out none of them. Make sure they there. And understand, when you say all them names, always put me on this side.
You had the list ready.
That sounds like snitching to me.
Try snitching, call it how you want, telling, you know, it's amazing.
And what's the caveat? Put Uncle on the other side by himself. He's innocent. He's the innocent one.
He's the only one, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of them all did their thing in one big room, and he had his own room to do it in.
I'm not the same though.
He's a horrible actor.
Yeah. And earlier when she asked him, well, weren't you rolling with Mike and Norm? He said, what do you mean rolling? He's been saying Polite my boy. I always say Polite my boy. But he cannot denounce Polite. Just like Sanada cannot denounce Polite. But it is what it is, man. Then he are hoping, praying and wishing that Polite gets off.
I agree with you on that one, Shaka. Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, I have to say, you know, I wonder what comes in my mind is like, if you've been hanging around polite, then the first thing that pops in my head is, are you married? Where's your lady? Where's your lady? I'll start asking these kind of questions because it's obvious that they're going to places where ladies is being put on dog leashes in front of men. So my question is like, where are these dudes' ladies at? Like, I just wonder myself, you know.
Yeah. It's just I just like I said, I think there's just more stuff that they try to throw at us to keep us separated from one another, and we just need to cut all them trees down or whatever you want to call them, and go and really engage in the stuff that really matters. How I look and what I think about myself and how I feel about myself, and it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter. If you and I can get along, you know, as a couple, and I still think highly of myself, what difference does that make to anybody else? I think it's just a waste of time and energy for us to keep going back and forth at each other and trying to pick apart what we don't like about a particular thing. It doesn't matter. I don't have to line up with what you like and what you don't like, and I don't care if I don't look like Beyonce or Pam Grier in her day and all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I don't look like any of that. Or it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter that, you know, this woman over here thinks all men are just that. I don't give a damn what you think about that. My thing is to appreciate the person for who they are, how they present themselves, and then as time goes on, I get to know you better. Then I find out more about you. But in the beginning, I don't know nothing about you to be drawing all these conclusions and stuff like that. And she doesn't know every man. She's just, again, broad brushing and trying to make it sound like, you know, all y'all are the scum of the earth, and you're not. All men are not like that. I'm sorry. Again, go ahead and act like you a man if you want to. Go ahead and stomp the yard like, you know, I'm the man in the relationship. Go ahead and go run up on a real man, and you're gonna get your butt whooped. We talk a big game until it's time to play that game. And when you're in the real world trying to perpetrate being something that you're not, you're gonna get the rude awakening that you are really not that person. So go ahead and floss like you know, I'm a high value man. You know, go ahead. Anybody can buy a new shirt and a new pair of pants and look like you worth $1 million. Anybody can do that. But the truth will come out eventually that you ain't that high value that you claim you are, because you ain't got to talk about it. You just you be it. You don't talk it. You ain't got to advertise. You ain't got to do none of that. You are that person, whether you're in front of somebody or behind the doors. You are the same person either way. But if you're going to talk a big game, you better be able to walk that game, because people are going to find you out, and you're going to be made to be the fool that you are. Just be confident in your skin and walk the best you can. If there's something you don't like, do something about it. I mean, weight-wise, there's some things you can't change. I mean, you can put in different color contact lenses to make your eyes look a different color, and you can dye your hair and all that kind of stuff. But all that gets old after a while. You know, boob jobs don't look good when you got perky breasts at 60 and everything else don't look right. There's some things you just don't need to be doing. I'm just saying. But if that makes you feel good, then you do it. So be it. Who cares?
Yeah. It's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny coming from a woman, because if men say it, especially younger men, they want to kill us. You know, like we this, we that. We are like we trying to stop them from being beautiful when we trying to tell them you done beautiful. So what the hell you doing to yourself? Then when you turn 35 years old, you bald head with all kind of wigs on, looking like grandma church. You see what I'm saying? Let the men say it. That's why I just be quiet, because I ain't got time to tell these women nothing. Talking about they if I wear this, go please. They think everybody think this shit. Fat doesn't even exist in some of their world. And I'm not saying that it should. I'm just saying they think that they more than anybody else. That's the issue. You know, you don't even love yourself for you. You trying to show that you are above everybody else. And even certain things slim women wear, you seen big girls wearing it and it don't look good. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Like wear what makes you look good. That's not disrespecting how you look. Just wear stuff that make you look good. Don't wear what everybody, like you said, Beyonce wearing. You ain't gotta do all of that.
I ain't gotta do all of that. And even with them, sometimes they are uncomfortable with what they wear. They can act like they ain't, you know, but at the end of the day, just you know, there's certain, like I said, there's certain things you can change. If you are overweight, you can change that and find yourself in a better space. There are certain things that you can't. I will never look like Beyonce in the face, and I won't look like her in the body anymore because I'm older than her, and I don't want to try to look like her in my body. I'm good. You know, those things. I'm not gonna go and get no plastic surgery so I can look like her. That ain't happening. It just ain't.
And
So
lose
people
your
need to
life in the process.
exactly. It's. I'm not gonna get no fake boobs in because somebody wants them to stand up perfect. I'm not gonna do all that. I wish. Sometimes I'd love to know if there's ever stories where they popped on somebody while they were with somebody and anything. Does anybody like that? I'm just saying. I'm good. Just, you know, I think it's just we put the emphasis on the wrong stuff. We got a lot of community building that we need to do outside of our looks, and that's what we need to be focused on, not all this other nonsense. This is nonsense. Who cares? I could look at Kevin Samuels, not somebody I would want to be with. I could care less what he flossed in profile. I could care less.
Well, that's you.
But somebody,
you know,
but that's what I'm saying. Somebody else might like him. That's fine. I don't have no problem with that. He's not my type, but somebody else might like him.
You know what the problem is, right? Like you just said, and sometimes people try to act like it's men, but women do it more than men. As you could see, Wolf, anytime she get in any kind of discussion with other females, the first thing she brings up is her plastics. Plastic, how she look, what it is, I 34, that. And it's not just her. It's a lot of, that's what they do. Whenever they fighting against each other, is my nails better than you. Look at my weed better than yours. She got the Brazilian. That's cheap over there.
Young Hero,
but it's all superficial.
Oh, you fat, you know, I have good weight and stuff.
They do it more than men because it's a competition thing, you know. So it's messy. That's all I could say. It's real messy.
Yeah,
you know how
hold on, please, Femi. Young Hero may have a point here because, you know, men don't usually argue and say, "Oh, but you fat." But women, it's something else. But go ahead.
No, you don't. Because see, they will say that it's because of the men. The men made them think that way. The men made them compete against each other. That's what they will say.
Yeah,
that's what
they
say.
That's just another excuse, like the one that want to be a fish, you know, like, and the other one that they blame it on. I don't care what. Oh, you are a victim of this. I'm sorry. Nobody don't want. I've been a victim of certain things I wouldn't even talk about. You see what I'm saying? But I do not blame women, all women, for the certain women I know that will never change. That's hard-headed. That's conniving and manipulating just to get what they can. Don't matter if they're sleeping with you or not. As long as they get what they can, sometimes that's all it matters to them because they are leeches. They don't want to do nothing for themselves. So I've been to so many. I could tell stories on top of stories. Regardless if I was right or wrong, because sometimes I was right in the beginning, but I've been wrong so much times. I had to do wrong too. I mean, I was young. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. You know, women. Sometimes women they do that all the time. Not just women, men too. Let's just say humans.
I mean, it goes both ways.
Make excuses so they won't be accountable for anything, and that's the society we live in. That's what they promote. You know, even in the religions, don't be accountable for none. Just go to pray. Just say you forgive me for my sins. I'm sorry.
The devil made me do it.
Yeah, but please, you gotta walk it every day in order to change it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works, but not with these humans.
You know how earlier I had said that a consistent feature of some of the most popular people on social media is that they clearly have personality disorders, some sort of mental disorder or whatever. And all the attention that they're getting is only feeding it. So they're not healing from the personality disorder. It's only becoming worse. A thing that you find with folks with certain kinds of personality disorders is that their thing is to try to spread it as much as possible to make themselves feel normal. Like if they see a bunch of people out there that aren't thinking and behaving the same way they do, it makes them feel abnormal, makes them feel out of the loop or whatever. So their thing to just make themselves feel normal inside is that everyone else around them has to be partaking in it as well. So these folks online, they're trying to spread this kind of thinking and behavior into selfish reasons. They'll try to put forth like it's a humanitarian effort on their part, but it's really all about just trying to make themselves feel normal inside.
It's like to project themselves as something greater than, you know what I mean? So it's like a lot. That's why you see a lot of them. You could tell by their body language, you know, and if it's ego, and the 99% of them are. That's what it is. It's a bunch of bull rubbish. Everybody have their agenda. Everybody like to come and speak like they're mutual, but when you listen to them, any man with common sense will know what side he pick, what, you know, because he's not, majority of them don't speak on issues on a mutual thing. They have their opinion and they have their stance on everything, and sometimes they get emotional, they curse, they make you think that this is what it is, and this, you need to be doing this, or you need to be following this, and don't follow that. And so everybody has their own, it's a big ego thing too, you know, like, and people think that the internet is the new media, the new celebrity, the new, you know, so everybody pushing to be that. They want to, you remember the guy that you see what I'm saying? So the more attention you could, no matter how ridiculous you do it, it's the same like these female rappers. They act so nasty and disgusting. I'm like, who would even want to sleep? Look at how she look. Look at the tattoo. You look more like a gangbanger male than anything. You don't even look like a female, you know. And your actions is just disgusting and nasty. It make me say, that must stink before I even smell it. Just because the way you acting, like, for real, like, but hey, that's what they do though. You know, regardless of if it's negative, long as they get that attention, they think that little attention gonna last forever, and they don't realize if you study history, it don't. No matter how great you think you was, whatever genre you into, it has hundreds that came before you that used to do the same thing, and as time by, people cling to the new ones that come. Regardless how good Michael Jackson is, nobody don't really listen to Michael Jackson unless they are old school people and they in the mood, you know, at the right time. Whatever they do, they clean in and listen to music, then they'll play some Michael Jackson. But for the majority of the time, or you go to the old school radio station. But the modern radio stations are playing new music. It's the same thing for basketball. No matter how great Michael Jordan was, we're looking at new basketball players. That's how it goes. So all the things you think you're doing and you think you're going to last forever, think again. So and you don't want to do it for the wrong reasons, because you're just tarnishing who you're supposed to be. But then again, who am I to speak? Because everybody think they know who you're supposed to be, and everybody think they're right. But if you, all these people that trying to act like they righteous, so they deserve to live, and you know, it's just like it has some people that do that to people for decades. Then when it finally hit, they mad at the world, like nobody's supposed to do them nothing. Like, you forget all the times you did this, you do that, you robbed, you killed, you shot, you fight, you curse people, murder, you forgot. But if tomorrow somebody, you know, wap got shot, or somebody's supposed to cry about it, huh? Well, anyway,
That's what's up. But brothers and sisters, it's gonna be 3 hours soon. It was lovely. Thank you very much for the participation.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is great. I love it.
It's gonna be midnight in a few minutes. But thank you very much. I really love the convo. I appreciate it, and we're learning more things about, you know, our adversaries. Not to say ups, but you know, that's their world. You know, apparently they have some informants. You know, so we'll find out more. But thank you very much. Thank you, Fimi, V. Bennett, Young Heru, Andrea Burnett, Divinely Inspired, and all the good people in the chat. I
You're
love
welcome.
Mifro. We have David. We have Herbiton Chatter Off. We have, I don't know if I said David already. and all the good people. Wildfont came through as well, you know. So I'm going to make my closing remarks without the outro. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the next channel, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue. I said fast. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you do not. Sorry. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. 282 282 Hotel.
All right, peace, man.